Order the City of West Palm Beach code enforcement hearing, special magistrate hearing rather, for April 3rd. It's 9:04. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate presiding over today's hearing. Looks like the agenda is mostly violation hearings and some fine reduction hearings at the end. For the violation hearings, the process is going to be when you hear your case called, you're going to come to the podium here on my right. City staff is going to be at the podium on my left. The city is going to go first, present its case, any evidence, any testimony, any witnesses the city has. Once the city is finished, I'll turn to you. You will then get to present any evidence, any testimony, cross-examine any city witnesses. At the end of that, I'll make a final ruling, and you'll get an order that reflects that ruling in the mail or when you leave here today. First thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify on any items on today's agenda. So if you're here to speak, including all city staff, if you could stand and raise your right hands. If you're here for any code enforcement matter today and you're going to speak, stand and raise your right hands for me. Sir, are you going to be speaking? Very good, thank you. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. You may be seated. And with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Agenda item 14, case number CE 22090213, case address 294 Cordova Drive.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Ryan Brown. I'm Chief Plumbing Inspector, City of West Palm Beach. Code case number is CE 22090213. The address where the violation occurred is 294 Cordova. The violation observed was a pool remodel without permits or inspections. The stop work order or violation was posted on the job on September 16th of 2022. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on 3/14/24, posted at City Hall on 3/14 of 24, posted on the property on 3/13 of 24. Certified mail was delivered on 3/19 of 24 and was signed for by an individual. The alleged violations are a pool remodel, including new main drains, pool equipment without permits or inspections. This particular case, the pool equipment was placed over a property line. Right there you can see where the yellow line is the property line. So the pool equipment's actually on the neighbor's property. Those pictures do truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violations and reflect what I'm testifying to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I've observed and for what is being displayed in the pictures. Permits have been applied for but not yet issued. I believe they're doing a revision to move the pool equipment to an appropriate location. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and an affidavit of posting. I have had contact with the owner and the contractor both. They're working diligently to get the revision approved and move the equipment. I'm going to give them 120 days to complete the permit process, just in case there's any hiccups with zoning and the setbacks with the pool equipment. After that, I'm going to give them $25 a day. I believe that's a fair amount of time.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just for some clarity, have you made contact with the owner? I heard the testimony was the contractor, but you have made contact with the owner?
With both, yeah.
Okay. And you stated that you observed the pictures that are being shown here today. You personally took those pictures?
Those pictures were taken by an employee who's no longer with the city, but I have visited the property. I've observed and verified that those pictures do fit. Like I said, and I've contacted and made contact with both the owner and the contractor.
Okay, and the pictures that were being shown today, based on your observation, you actually went out to the site and observed the violations, correct?
Yes.
And those pictures, as you testified, truthfully and accurately depict the violations you observed?
Yes, they do.
Okay. That'll be it from the city special magistrate.
Thank you. Just I guess a quick question. So you said the stop work order was from 2022?
Yes, it's been quite some time.
Okay. Any reason for that, or?
The particular employee that's no longer here had a significant amount of cases, and we only try so many per inspector per hearing, and so it has caused somewhat of a backlog, especially with him being released from duty. it's left me with quite a bunch to handle.
Extra work for you, sir.
Yes.
You said they applied for the permit, but it's not yet been issued. Was it a recent application?
It's been several months,
Okay,
but like I said, I've been in contact with them. I've seen the plan review. I've seen what's kind of gone back and forth.
but not from 2022 or 2023. It's a more recent submittal, so it's not they're trying to fix an outdated submittal.
Correct.
Okay. Is the respondent present for this case? All right, for the record, the respondent is not present. Anything further, sir?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. In case CE 2209-0213, I've noted the respondent's not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the testimony of city staff as well as the documents in the case file, that the city had good service for today's hearing via the signed certified mailing as well as the posting affidavit. I'll find respondents, based on those photographs and documents, that respondents in violation of section 110.3 of the Florida Building Code and 105.1 for the pool and pool equipment that were not appropriately permitted. I'll require respondents to comply within 120 days, or a $25 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Agenda item 15, case number CE 2307-0007, case address 259 Pilgrim Road.
Again, Ryan Brown, Chief Plumbing Inspector, City of West Palm Beach. Code case number is CE 2307-0007. The address where the violation occurred is 259 Pilgrim. The violation I observed is a cabana, an upgraded shed, a pool heater, a generator, and a storage shed set in place without permits or inspections. I issued a violation and a stop work order posted on the job on June 30th of 2023. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on 3/14 of 24, posted at City Hall on 3/14 of 24, and was posted on the property on 3/13 of 24. Certified mail was delivered on 3/16 of 24 and signed for by an individual. The observations of the alleged violation witnessed by me is the completion of a cabana structure, a shed conversion to conditioned space, a pool heater installation, a generator installation, and a large storage shed without permits or inspections. Those pictures are taken by me, and they do truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I'm testifying to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I've observed and what is being displayed in those pictures. Permits have been applied for, but have not been issued yet. 2 have been issued, but they still have 4 to go. Inspections have been performed on the 2 permits that have been issued, but not for the other 4.
And let me just briefly stop you there. So when you say permits have been applied for everything that's unpermitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The generator's complete, but there is somewhat of a hiccup with the generator because they tried to move it in order to comply with there's a separation for combustion in materials, and I'm working with them to get that rectified. If the shed stays, they're going to have to do something with that. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and an affidavit of posting. I have had contact with them a couple times. They also have I believe, a permit runner and a contractor that have spoken to me and emailed me several times, which is fine. They are working towards compliance. I spoke to them the other day and told them what my intent was today, and that was to give them 180 days to complete the entire process, and then it'd be $25 a day after that. I believe that'd be more than enough time if handled professionally, and so I believe that to be more than enough time.
And just so I understand, when you say 180 days to complete the whole process, that means get all the permits issued and have the required inspections, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
No questions from the city at this
Okay,
time.
thank you. Good morning. Your names for the record?
Carrie Colangelo.
And your-
Alicio Ancona?
Thank you. And your relation, sir, you're not the contractor, you're just,
No, I'm the homeowner.
okay, very good, thank you. All right, so you've heard what the city is saying. Quite a few things were done without permits, but he's indicated that you've applied for the permits and you're working towards compliance. He's recommending that I give you 180 days to comply, which seems like more than enough time. But what's your response to what you've heard the city say? Anything you'd like me to hear?
Everything's 100% correct. The big hiccup for the permitting was we relied on an architect who was backed up. Took him forever to get our plans. I think Mr. Brown knows that. We do have one question, though, regarding the shed. Maybe you can give us some assistance. That shed is a portable shed, and when we submitted for the permit, they sent it back to us because of the setback. And so when we spoke to the architect about the setback, they said, well, that's a toss-up because it's not a permanent structure. So is that incorrect, and it does need to be 5 feet off the,
So that's
Property
a
line?
zoning issue, and only they would be able to respond to that question.
oh,
You would need to work that out with them in the plan review process.
with the city?
Yeah. mhm.
Okay, just ask them.
With
If-
planning and zoning, is that?
That's part of the reason why I'm giving you 180 days. If you
Yeah.
can't work that out with zoning and the setback, one of the original comments to me was that I would just remove it. And if
Correct.
that's the case, then you have to do that. It's unfortunate, but it's possible.
And that's okay, that's an option as well.
But that was part of the
The
comment
city
about the
kicked it
generator
back.
also.
Yeah, so the city kicked it back and said something about the structure being too close to the property line. Then we contacted the architect, and then the architect came back to us and said, well, that's a portable structure, and so, are you sure? So I said, I don't know, we're coming here today,
I believe,
we'll figure it out.
and don't quote me, I believe once they become a certain size, that the portable is no longer part of the equation.
Okay, okay.
But I would recommend that you defer to the city's zoning department, because the
Yeah.
architect, his knowledge is one thing, and the zoning official's knowledge is
Yeah.
something else. So you may want to defer to what the city staff is telling you, because they're going to know how they consider it under their code. And as he said, there's a lot of different things that go into it relative to size and a whole bunch of things.
I think
but-
that's probably the key.
Right.
It's the size that makes it not so portable.
Correct.
Okay.
And let me ask you, could I see the affidavit of posting?
We passed the
Quickly.
180 days if we don't have a permit.
It's fine.
But I mean,
We have a permit,
no, but if they don't issue the permit yet, how does that work?
I don't think.
Okay, thank you. And let me ask you both, the documents have been scrolling on both sides of me that the city would like to enter into the case file. Do you have any objection to those documents? They're the notice documents for the hearing today and the photographs.
No,
Any objection? Okay, perfect. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
no?
Okay, you think 180 days to me seems like more than enough time. You're comfortable with that amount of time?
Yeah, I just think if, yeah, that's fine. I think as long as the city issues the permit, we can move forward with inspections and/or deciding to get rid of that shed. And that's a one-day thing to
That's a quick
have
thing,
it.
okay.
It's a crane pulls it out, so.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 2307-0007, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the documents in that case file, which include the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of city staff, that the respondents are in violation of Section 105.1 and 110.3 for the several components added to the property without the appropriate permits and inspections. I'm going to require respondents to comply with those sections within 180 days, or a $25 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. So I would get with zoning first and get that issue figured out, but 180 days should be more than enough time. So best of luck to you both.
Okay, and then if it goes past the 180 days,
The
what did you?
fine automatically starts running on 181st day. So it'd be $25 a day going forward from there until you achieve compliance. So once you get the permits issued, the other thing you may want to get for your records is an affidavit of compliance from the city, showing you that everything that you had in code enforcement has been complied out by the city and that you're out of, air quotes, code enforcement trouble.
Okay,
Okay?
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Agenda item 16, case number CEBLD 24010501, case address 4201 Georgia Avenue.
Again, my name is Ryan Brown, Chief Plumbing Inspector, City of West Palm. Code case is CE BLDG 2401-0501. The address where the violation occurred is 4201 Georgia Avenue. The violation I personally observed is an office trailer installed, including an electrical service and a backflow preventer, without permits or inspections. I issued a violation and posted the stop work order on the job on January 17th of 2024. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on 3/14 of 24, posted at City Hall on 3/14 of 24, and I posted it on the property on 3/13 of 24. Certified mail was delivered on 3/16 of 24 and signed for by an individual. The observations I observed for the violation I am alleging is an installation of an office trailer for a permanent business with an electrical service and a backflow preventer without permits or inspections. Those pictures I personally took and do accurately and truthfully depict the alleged violations and reflect what I'm testifying to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and for what is being displayed in the pictures shown. Permits have been applied for, but permits have not been issued. Inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of notice of violation and an affidavit of posting. I have had contact with the owner, or actually the owner's legal counsel. Somebody contacted me yesterday. I explained what was going to happen today. I also talked to the tenant the day of the red tag, the day I posted it. The results of my contact, other than them appearing today, have been nothing. They had a permit that was applied for the trailer before they put it in place. It failed plan review, and then they just never followed up on the plan review. They went ahead and put the trailer in place anyway.
Do you know, I'm sorry, do you know when the permits were applied for?
I don't have the exact date, no.
Okay. And you mentioned the plan review?
It was several months before the trailer was put in place.
Okay.
Yep.
The permit was applied for several months before the trailer was put in place, is your testimony?
Mhm.
And you mentioned something about plan review being failed?
The plan review failed, and then there's been no resubmittal after the failed plan review cycle. When I spoke to the tenant at the time, when I posted the red tag, he seemed a little frustrated with the process. He seemed under a time crunch because he had to move from one location to the other. That seemed to be the reason for putting the trailer in place without the permit. So given that he already has a permit applied for, it just needs a resubmittal. I'm going to ask for 90 days or $50 a day after that. I believe that's enough time to rectify the situation in one way or another.
Nothing further from the city.
And let me ask you, the trailer is clear. There was one photo. Is that just showing me the electrical stuff in the background of the photo? Is that?
Yeah, so they actually applied for 3 permits, one for the trailer, one for a temporary power pole, which doesn't apply to permanent connection to a job trailer. It only is for a temporary power pole with just outlets on the temporary service.
Okay.
And then they also applied for a sewer and water connection, which if caught or recognized probably would have been failed because it can't connect to something that's not permitted. However, it did get through plan review, so the sewer and water that was connected to it was actually inspected, but the backflow that is required for a commercial property was not permitted and inspected, so that's part of the violation. So the backflow, the temporary power that was modified to be a permanent connection to the trailer needs to be.
What's that photo? Can you scroll back up? I'm sorry. What am I looking at in this one?
Just documenting that there's a metal framework there that could possibly be windborne debris that they probably
Okay.
should address if they plan on keeping it there.
All right, keep scrolling if you could. The backflow is the metal structure, right? In one of the photos that's coming out of the ground, the 2 pipes.
Yeah.
That's the one I was referring to. You're just showing me that there's electric hooked up to it in the back.
Yeah, it's through there and on the backside.
Okay.
Yep.
Keep going down if you could. That's the backflow
That's
preventer
the
right there.
backflow, yes.
Okay. And this is a construction site?
I believe he has a towing company that he runs from that property. So it's not even, it's more of a business trailer than a job site trailer, which is what was applied for. So that needs to be rectified in the plan review process if they intend to keep it.
Is that a permittable structure?
Can be, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, good morning. Your names for the record?
Giovanni Calderon.
Okay. And your name, sir?
Good morning. Dan Durakian on behalf of the owner, Meredith Townsend.
All right, so you've heard what the city has said. Go ahead with what you'd like me to hear.
Well, maybe I can present. My office did speak with, I believe, Mr. Brown yesterday, not me personally, but another attorney in my office. And our plan and suggestion, which Mr. Brown was okay with, was that we're going to remove the trailer. And we understand, as explained by Mr. Brown, that there is some permits that we would need to obtain in order to do that, like to cap off the plumbing and the electrical, and then get those inspected and closed out. I believe Mr. Brown informed my office, he can correct me if I'm wrong, that would take probably about 120 days to do. These permits are a little less onerous to obtain, according to him. But we are willing to go through that process, get the trailer taken off and restore the property to the way it was before to cure the violation. We would ask, for some leniency as far as the fine goes, maybe reduce that to $25 per day. Mr. Calderon's a hardworking individual who's started his own company. He's had to transition from a very difficult situation with his prior landlord to this property. He's trying to obtain, a site that does have proper storage for his towing company. He's an individual that used to, have contracts with the sheriff's office for their towing. But, Your Honor, that's the plan that we would suggest you adopt.
Okay, and then you're also going to remove the backflow preventer, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, what's the city's response to what he just said?
I don't remember speaking of 120 days. I did talk about the fact that the permits to cap those off are fairly simple there's no details involved. They normally don't fail a plan review. They're essentially quick turnaround permits. A demo cap off is a turnaround permit in itself, so it doesn't take but just a couple weeks to get it out the door. I think 90 days is more than fair considering that the work is already done. And $50 a day is standard for commercial properties, residential standard 25. So I would say that's what I'm asking for is more than fair.
Okay. Let me ask you, sir, do you have any objection to the documents that have been scrolling on the screens behind me? Do you have any objection to those being entered into the record?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm good. Anything else you'd like me to hear? Either one of you?
I know Mr. Calderon had one question about the permits that he would need to obtain in order to, do this properly. He'd like to know, can he obtain those permits in himself, or does he need a contractor like a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber to apply for those, or can he get those himself?
Commercial properties don't qualify for owner affidavit builders, so no, it would have to be a contractor
So you'd have to
in
hire
all
somebody.
cases.
That's what I thought.
And what's the turnaround process on that? Because,
We already have an application in, and it's
Okay.
gone through plan review. I would address the comments and get it.
That's not what he's asking. He's not asking about the permit that's in. He's asking if he, once he submits the application for the cap-off permits.
right,
Oh,
what's the turnaround, because
Cap off could be
it
just,
is the city, and, I have my issues across the hall here as far as when it came down to the permits, when you guys' system went AWOL and went to a different system, and you guys were backed up 90 days. This-
we were never backed up 90 days.
mean,
So
His concern is he's had I only been getting the stories, as on the owner's representative, but apparently he's had a heck of a time trying to get this permit so that he can operate the trailer at the property. I acknowledge and understand, how backed up sometimes staff can get, and it's not easy on applicants. So he's just trying to get sufficient time to do this process that we just laid out. I am always fall on the side of, let's err on the side of caution, maybe give him a little bit more time so that it's more than sufficient. I think 120 days is probably more than sufficient here. And he's indicated to me, he's indicated to my client that he can get this done, he's willing to do it, and that would cure everything here.
Okay. Anything else from either of you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Anything from you, anything else from you, sir?
No, thanks.
Okay. All right, in case CE BLD 24010501, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1. I'm going to find, based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of city staff, that the respondent's in violation of sections 110.3 and 105.1 for the temporary structure and backflow preventer installed without the required permits and inspections. I'm going to require a respondent to comply within 120 days or assess a fine of $50 a day for each day thereafter. So I've given you the extra time that you've requested. I am going to keep the $50 a day fine because, as he says, that's still a very low fine. And there is typically a distinction between commercial properties and residential, but they're allowed to go much higher than that under state law. So this is still a nominal fine amount. But I did give you the additional time because I think it's in everybody's best interest for you to get this done and get it done within that time frame so that you don't have any issue and you don't have any fines. So best of luck to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Going back to agenda item number 6, case number CE 24021388, case address 81139 39th Court, sorry.
Good morning.
Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. The property at 811 39th Court was cited on February the 2nd of 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on February the 13th, 2024. Certified mail was sent and regular mail was sent at the address listed on PAPA on February the 9th. The certified mail was returned. While riding through my zone, I found the property at 811 39th Court and cited for the following violations: 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, which has been complied; 94-482-A, parking requirements. Vehicle was parked on an unpaved surface that has been moved and complied. 7894-C, swells and parkways, sod or seeded. 18106-M, maintaining the landscape, which is also included in the sod and the seeding on the property. And 18106G, paint. I have had contact with Ms. Clark, who has started work on the property. But at this time, the violations that are still outstanding is 7894-C and 18106M and 18106G. The city is requesting an additional 60 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Can you bring the pictures up? Okay, thank you. And just for clarity on the record, we're dealing with 3 violations currently that are not complied with, that have not been complied with?
Yes.
Okay, and did you go out to the property and personally observed these violations?
Yes, and that's the initial pictures from the first initial. I also have some reinspection photos that I went out and shows that some things have been complied.
When did you do the reinspection?
They are dated, was it Monday? Monday, yes.
Okay, and you personally observed that the 3 outstanding violations were still not complied with?
Right.
And the pictures that we're showing, hopefully the most recent pictures, which I see dated April 1, those are pictures you took yourself?
Yes,
And those photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations you observed?
yes. That are still outstanding, which she has started the process. There's one picture that shows there, she does have a sprinkler, she has seeded, and you can see some new growth. It's not totally, completed, but she is working on it, and she's gonna reseed and continue to water. And also, she did tell me that she had paint, or she got paint, has paint, the county provided that. So she's gonna have painting started on Sunday.
And you wanted 60 days of compliance, and I did not get the amount of the fine.
$100 a day.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further from the city, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your names for the record?
Deborah Clark,
And your name, ma'am?
Catherine Clark.
Thank you. So you've heard what the city has said. What's your response? It sounds like you're making progress towards complying?
Yes, but the swellway on the sidewalk where the, rocks with the grass at, the city, was working with the water meter. And they said after they finished working there in the area, that they would replace the grass and stuff back down on the swellway, on the opposite side of the
On the other side of the
property.
sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay. Did you spread seed there too, or no, just on your main yard?
Some on the part that was grass was already there, but mostly on my yard.
Okay. Okay. The city's asking me to give you 60 days. Can you get all of these things complied within 60 days?
Yes,
Okay. And she said you have paint and you have a painter coming starting this weekend, is that correct?
yes,
Okay. And then the 18106M violation, that's just relative to the grass, correct?
Yes.
There's nothing having to do with bushes or vegetation, it's all the
No,
grass?
originally she had that, she did, all of that was removed, so the only thing was remaining is getting that fullness in the grass, which she is working on.
Okay, and then do you have a response to her question, her comment about, the area outside on the other side of the sidewalk?
She did tell me, there is an area, because they are working in that whole neighborhood, and they are messing up a lot of the swell, parts of the swell.
Okay.
Where they're working, and so on one part, which I'm not holding her accountable for that now, because the city did mess that up, and there's a lot of sand and like rocky material there.
So you're not requiring that she restore that to grass because the city's working there?
Well, the city is going to do that, which I had her reach out, and she did do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to give them that opportunity to do that. The other part that they did not mess up, that's where she's putting the seed, and she's working on that area.
Okay, does that make sense, ma'am?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right, anything further you'd like me to hear?
No, that'll be,
Okay. The documents that have been scrolling across the screen, do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
no,
Okay, thank you. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 24021388, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of city staff, that the respondent is in violation of sections 18106G, 7891C, and 18106M. I'm going to require respondent to comply within 60 days, or I'm going to assess a fine of $50 a day for each day that the violation continues thereafter. So get it complied within the 60 days. I've reduced the fine a little bit for you. I think 60 days is plenty of time, but
yes.
make sure you keep in communication with the code officer if there's any issues. But if you're starting the painting this weekend, that should be plenty of time. The grass is already starting to grow, so keep watering it, but keep in touch with the city if you have any issues, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver.
Agenda item 7, case number CE 24021437, case address 109 37th Street.
809? Good morning, Code Officer Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. The property at 809 37th Street was cited on February the 12th of 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on February the 13th of 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on March 11th, 2024. It was delivered, and regular mail also was sent. This property was originally called in as a complaint. I went to check the property and noticed the following violations at this address. 18106A, clean and sanitary. 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. 78-94C, swells and parkways. 18-106B, excessive growth. 74-4-C-1, hurricane hazard vegetation, dead vegetation. 74-4-C-4, trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way. 94-71-C, outdoor storage residential. 94-446-2-C-3, tree abuse. 94-302-A-4, fence and wall maintenance. 78-6-2, numbering, address numbering location. 18106G, paint. I have had contact with Mr. Moody, but at this time, everything still remains in violation. Mr. Moody has started some work and been working on some things, but everything is not complete. The city is requesting an additional 60 days to gain compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
And just for the record, I have 11 violations.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And your testimony is that while there's some effort, there's still non-compliance on all 11 violations?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it your testimony and your ask for 60 days? Is that a reasonable time to cure all these violations, in your opinion?
Yes, in my opinion. He has started working on some things, so, you know, it's not that it can't be done, it's just a matter of doing it or wanting to do it, I guess.
But 60 days is a reasonable time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing from the city at this time.
Let me just keep looking, yeah, keep scrolling through those photos. What kind of property is this? Is it a residential property? Is there a house?
Yes, ma'am, it's a house.
Okay.
And these are the initial photos. I also have re-inspection photos that shows some of the things that he has done.
What's the hurricane hazard?
If you, I keep scrolling, I don't know where we are in the pictures here, but you can, in these pictures, you can barely see the front of the property. There's so many trees and growth and everything that needs to be trimmed to maintain, you know, a lot of things that have fallen. You can't see any grass or anything. It's just basically just overgrown, almost like a forest.
So is that the house back there, the turquoise?
That's a little glimpse of the house, yes.
Okay.
And there's actually 2 units. So for the numbering, the main house, he did put numbers up, and he cut back a little so you can see that on the main house. There's nothing on the second structure, or nothing that you can see, I may say, on the second structure as far as address. Now can we do the re-inspection photo so that we can see where he has done some work? Okay, so that area still has, he did touch up some paint in some areas. That area somehow got missed, as well as the courtyard area you see is.
So you're saying that photo that there's still mold or something needs to be either pressure washed or painted?
Right, on the house as well as on the
shutters?
on
Okay.
the pavers or,
Oh, on the ground as well, okay.
so he put characters there.
Okay.
There's still, this is the swell right here. That's part of the swell, all of that. There's a lot of trees and growth in the swell. He did pressure wash, so the sidewalks are nice and clean. But there's still growth. All of this is the swell, because it sits on the corner lot, so it's that whole side. So this is the side facing Greenwood.
So what has to happen on that swale area? The vegetation needs to be cut
Yes,
back?
Yes,
Okay.
and it can't be more than 6 inches. I'm sorry, 18. But then, okay, and see over here on the left, you'll see the fence needs repairing over in that section. And then this, whatever this is out there. That, and there's also some more outdoor storage on the property. But if you keep going, you'll see this is the current condition of the property. There's some rope holding up some tree and stuff on that photo there. And then in another photo, there's further down the sidewalk, there's another rope going across, holding a tree back. There's a lot of photos, so just keep scrolling. There's a lot of photos.
And as we go through the photos, are those you took those photographs?
Yes, ma'am, on Monday.
And those photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations you observed?
Yes, ma'am. And this is the current state. These are the most recent photos. And this is on the Greenwood side here. Actually, keep going. And then there's one portion where one of the signs that's out there is partially blocked from one of the trees covering it. That's outdoor storage that's in the yard there. And there's also tile, like roof tile and a lot of that kind of stuff that's also in the property. There's some trees that were cut but not totally taken out. So parts of trees and fallen stuff, and it's just, a lot of it's just on the ground. And he did, like I said, he did do some cutting back because originally on the sidewalk, if you try to go through, it was so overgrown.
Is there a sidewalk in that photo?
In this one?
Yeah.
This is, see a part of the sign, the top of the sign you can't see.
Okay,
This is
so-
on the Greenwood side, the sidewalk. There's somewhere you'll see the sidewalk. That's going over. That's the sidewalk
Okay,
there.
there's the sidewalk.
On the side. In the front was worse, but he did do some trimming up to where if you walk through, it's not like you're in a cave.
What's the tree abuse?
Like I said, there were a couple of trees that were like chopped off to about this height. It's like the top of the tree. I have a picture that shows, you'll see a good picture of one. And it's just sitting there. There was a stump, which I think he removed the stump out of the swale. But there's a couple that, like I said, have been cut. I don't know if someone just axed it or how it got like that. It didn't fall over. Someone cut it, and they did not just remove the tree or anything. They just cut it for whatever reason, and it was still there as of today, as of Monday. I'm sorry, it's still there.
Was that it? Go back up? Oh, is
Yes,
that,
sir,
yeah.
right there. You see
okay.
it there. And there was another one. Some of it is so much stuff. So trying to get the pictures to really show how dense and everything it is.
And you've talked to them about what it means to get into compliance?
Yeah, we've talked back and forth. He has been reaching out. He has been calling me, and we've been talking. He had mentioned something about it being a habitat, which has nothing to do with the city codes. So I don't know if, if he's following that guideline for his property or what, but, unfortunately, like I told him, the codes are there and we have to, honor, go by the code, what's written in the code.
Okay.
Those are
And
the
that's the
tiles
roof
and all
tiles you're
that
talking
stuff
about,
that's
okay.
in there, yeah.
That's part of the outdoor storage?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the end of them?
Yeah, I think she's went back up, but yeah, that's the gist of the photos. It's a bunch of them, but yes.
And what's this, you gave me your recommendation already, you're asking for 60 days, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your names for the record?
Len Moody.
Catherine Canich.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you've heard what the city has said, you've been looking through the photos. Go ahead and explain to me, it sounds like you're making some steps to get into compliance, but go ahead and explain to me what's going on.
Okay. I've had this property for 26 years, and I've worked with code enforcement, and so I know what the code is. There's a visibility triangle on the corner that this one tree that she had me remove that was wind damaged. It was said that it was improperly trimmed, but it was just trimming back the wind damage. And code has talked about removing that tree anyway, so I just finally removed it because it was in the visibility triangle when you're driving by. And I have photos. I don't know why you don't show the improvements, but if you could look at some of my photos from the street level, I don't know. She couldn't enter it in, so.
You can show your photos to the city staff, and they'll show the city attorney before I look at anything.
Okay. From the street, I took these today. This is just from the street. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the driveway that we've had this. I've had it for 26 years, and nobody's ever had me pressure wash the driveway and the sidewalks. And I don't think it's since 1921. I don't think it's ever been done. I told her, Mrs. Weaver, about this. I mean, you can see the difference between me and the neighbors in that one. It's, completely cleaned up. And the previous officer I worked with, this one I bent over backwards and did everything up to code. And the only thing I see is, maybe that you can't even see the the tiles from the road or the sidewalk. I've got my arm up in this picture where it shows it's the lowest part in the sidewalk where it's in code. It's 8 feet high. And this, I have a photo of the sidewalk buckling where I told Mrs. Weaver about it, and she had me call the city. I called the city. They were coming right out, but that's one side, and this is the other side. It's a tripping hazard, which is really visible after I pressure washed. I removed there's a chin-up bar that the tenant had that I'd removed, and so she took another picture a couple of days ago. I've removed that. You can see from this photo. I put new numbers. It has the old numbers on the house that.
Are there numbers on both buildings, though?
You can't even see the other building.
Right, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need the numbers, right? So
It's both 809. It's not. There's not a different number. So it's 809 main house, and then there's it's just a little cottage in the back. It's both 809. So from Greenwood, that you can't see it. It's around the corner, and there's no way to see any numbers on that house anyway, because it's 150 feet back or so.
Okay. Did you do a lot more work between her photos are dated April 1st? Did you do a lot more work between then
No,
and today?
But I can show you a better picture of the work that I did do. And it's all completely to what I've been doing it for all these years. I mean, even better than it has been, so to be not into code is kind of ridiculous. If you can look, just scroll through these pictures.
If you like to, yes, show them to her also.
How many photos do you have, sir?
Just about 7 or 8.
Okay.
Okay.
But, let me start thinking. This is just some sidewalk view of the property. The property is also a wildlife refuge.
Well, hold on. Let's get the photos in. Let's do the documents first. So go ahead and show her the photos, and then you're going to come down here and show me the photos.
Okay.
And then you can go back to the podium and we'll continue the conversation.
Sidewalk view. I do have a kayak in the yard that she showed that if that's not to code, I can easily move that. But if you look at the sidewalk, it's all clean and it's not impeding any traffic. And this is up to the neighbors. You can see, compared to the neighbors, it's completely sanded over and grown over. And this is the other side. That's what you just saw. This is the side where it's cleaned up to the neighbor's property line. And also the fence she showed from the north side is not my fence, it's the neighbor's fence. And the fence that she showed from the driveway.
Get through the photos, sir.
I think you've gone through.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's more than.
This one from the driveway.
I'm sorry, just for the record, there are more than 7 photos
Okay.
that I'm seeing.
All right.
And are you, is it your testimony, sir, that these photos you're showing me differ than the photos that we saw
Yes.
previously?
Yeah, well, she had the chant bar in the driveway, and you could see the trash can, but I moved it again. And from here, you cannot see there's some tiles right outside the building. You can't see them from the sidewalk. You have to trespass on my property.
And may I inquire, sir, are those
see
the
this-
last of the photos?
see,
I'm
we're-
sorry,
what-
sorry, I'm asking some
that's the
questions
last
regarding.
of the photos.
Okay, thank you. So those are the last of the photos. Are those, when were those photographs taken?
This morning.
Okay, all right. Thank you. The city would have no objection to
To
the
those photos.
photographs.
Okay, so come down here, sir, and just scroll through the photos. How many are there total?
One, two, three.
$15. Okay. Go ahead and scroll through them so I can see them.
This is just from just outside the sidewalk, looking at the property.
Okay.
It's xeriscape landscape. This is looking up the driveway. You cannot see the cottage, so there's no way to put a number there. This is looking down the sidewalk on Greenwood side. It's all cleared.
Okay, got it.
But that's when we said we can't, we should.
It was cleared up to the property line. That's
But we really should, we have to, we really should. She's saying that he would have printed it out ahead of time, but he really,
on the street side.
this is evidence, so we're gonna have to somehow figure out. Because we
Okay.
This is looking up,
On the other side of the street. Yeah, okay.
and I'm holding up my hand to shine it's above 8 feet, which is in compliance with
Okay. That's a sidewalk you were talking about, which is a public works issue, right? Okay.
Definitely a safety issue. This is from the other neighbors looking down, this property line is where the sidewalk.
Okay, you pressure washed it, okay.
This is looking at the house.
That's the main house, or that's the
Yeah,
other
this is the
structure?
main house,
Okay.
and, this was the, I pressure washed all that. I don't know how I thought she wasn't allowed to trespass, but she took pictures of that part, but it's, I mean,
So is that the last one?
oh, here's just another shot.
Okay.
The chin-up bar is gone, the trash can is gone.
And that's from this morning? You moved the garbage can this morning?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and go back over there for me so you can get on the microphone again.
Special Magistrate,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may, we would need to have those photos perhaps emailed to us to be able to be in the file, case file, because at this point in time, I'm told we are not able to download those as is in the record.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to get her to download them, but it was a security issue.
Okay. Yeah, in the future, if you ever have a code enforcement issue in the future, come with them printed on paper so that they're
Okay.
not just on your phone.
Okay.
I've looked at them though. I see the city's photos, and your testimony is that you did a little bit more works between April 1st and today, which is April 3rd. So I'll rely on them to the extent that I reviewed them. I saw them on your phone. If you want them entered in officially to the record, email them to the city to get them into your case file. I guess let me turn to the city. So when you were out there on the 1st, the garbage can was still in public view?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
There's a photo that shows it also.
okay. And I guess I need to see the photo of is it the city's testimony with regard to the hurricane hazard that it's just all the trees that are not maintained is the hurricane hazard,
Not
or are there some
maintained,
close to the
there's
house?
stuff that's fallen over. Also, there's, like I said, the ground cover just stacked with things that have fallen over the course of a couple of years or however many years. And it's just, like I said, if a good hurricane or strong wind blow, all that stuff is just gonna fly everywhere.
Okay. Have you met with this gentleman on the site?
I have not met with him on the site. I have.
Would you be
spoken
willing
with
to
him.
do that, or
I
when he
can-
calls you
I
for a
can-
reinspection, I mean, you can let him know what needs to still be done if he's not
I
in
can meet with
compliance?
him, but in speaking with him, he was seeming to imply that he has a wildlife habitat, he's certified, so that's why his property is like that. So he's fallen under that auspice of, it's okay, because it's a wildlife habitat, which the city codes does not reflect that, as far as accepting that as, a compliance measure.
Okay. So the city's position is that all the vegetation needs to be maintained, it needs to be pruned,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
right-of-ways need to be trimmed.
Yes.
What's the city's response to did you do a reinspection on the 8-foot clearance on the sidewalk, or is that?
He's saying there's a clearance. Like I said, there are areas where he cut back, and I give him credit for what he's done. But there are still, nothing is totally complied in any section.
Okay.
Like I said, there's rope that's holding back a tree by the mailbox, by the front. Near the area where he was standing, there's a rope running from a tree to something on the property holding that back. That is not even good to have. Someone can go through there, something can go through there and snap on the rope or whatever. So that's not a compliance measure.
Okay.
And just, some of it is little things. It's like you started, but we didn't get all the way to the finish line.
Okay, what's the city's response on the two structures? His statement was that they have the same address.
Usually, if it's more than one thing that's being rented or the ability to be rented, there has to be,
A secondary address.
secondary
Is it
address.
rented, the cottage, sir?
What?
Is the cottage, the other structure rented?
Not right now, no.
But you
He
do
has-
rent it?
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
have,
matter.
I have rented in the past.
Okay.
And he has a rental license for both. He just renewed it, so,
Oh, he has a rental license for both buildings?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the current picture that, he said he removed the garbage can, but that's what was out there that day. So, he said he moved it today, but my thing is, all this time we've been in communication, that was an easy fix.
Okay.
Yeah, the tenant moved it out.
Yeah, that can be that's a never-ending issue. But make sure to communicate with your tenant
Yeah,
that you're the one who ultimately gets in trouble for
Yes,
what they
yeah.
do. So you have to continue to communicate to them and relate to them that they're causing you issues.
the other thing was since the 90s, we've had, the state has had xeriscape, and then recently they made it Florida-friendly. Have you heard of that? Florida-friendly landscaping, which their guidelines is to have, I know that I don't have this in view of the city, but to have brush piles for the wildlife, to have a pond or a place where the wildlife can drink, and using the leaves as mulch. I cleared. If you saw the before and after, I took a lot of the stuff that's unsightly from the street, but it's a natural. I have also a picture of it on my other phone of the certification. My certification number on that has been for years is Certified Wildlife Habitat number 209722. And
Let me
then,
stop you there for a second. What's the city's position relative to the certification or any designation relative to Florida-friendly landscaping or xeriscaping? Is it the city's position that the code is what has to be followed? You can do xeriscape, and I'm sure the code speaks to xeriscaping, but that doesn't mean that it's an unmaintained area. I guess give me a little bit more on that if you could, City Attorney.
That is correct, Your Honor. As testified by the code enforcement officer, we're not recognizing that as an exemption to maintaining the requirements of the code as it pertains to the property.
Okay. So some of these I think are very easy. What I'm a little bit more worried about is the landscaping and your understanding of what you need to do to get into compliance. Do you understand what the city is telling you that still needs to be done?
mostly,
Because what she's
I don't
telling
really-
me is that you haven't, none of the sections are currently in compliance with the city's code. So she's saying that although you have a photograph of you standing in one place with relative to the 8-foot clearance over the sidewalk, that there are other places that you're not in compliance. So she says
you
you're
saying that?
working toward that, but you're not quite there.
that's the lowest part, and it's in compliance. And I've done this many times. It's when I've been away on vacation and something falls, and then a branch will fall on the sidewalk, and I don't get it, then I get a code violation for it. So.
But you live at the site, right? You
Not
live in
right- not now.
No, you don't,
But
okay.
I homesteaded it for over 20 years.
Okay. Okay.
And, so I've been, it's completely code compliant, the sidewalk is. I don't know what you do. The previous woman worked with me really well on it, Nadia, and then the one before that, Officer Lillian, had me paint the whole house, and the house had been tented for termites, but she heard a complaint from the neighbors. There's a neighbor next door that moved in. They cut down an endangered buttonwood tree that is highly illegal. I never said anything to the city about that, but they keep turning me in and complaining. But I've been in compliance for over 3 years now.
Okay, up until now, okay.
And it's just, so Lillian promised me, her big issue was leaves on the property, which you can't, that's a xeriscape, so just leaves. She had me, tent the house. It'd been 4 years, and after 2 years, you cannot get a company to say this is compliant termite. They do an inspection, and you can't get them to do it. So it'd been 4 years, and it usually takes at least 10 years, but we have 10 again. So I had to do that, and then she trespassed and found a shed that was on the back building that had been there for at least 30 years before I owned the place. She made me tear that down.
I appreciate what you're saying, but keep your testimony limited to this code enforcement case, because I'm only, the only thing before me this morning is the photographs that the city took relative to this violation. So what's happened in the past is in the past.
But it isn't, because she promised that I would get the fines zeroed out.
That's a whole separate matter. A fine reduction is not before me today. So this is a whole new violation case. So
Okay, but
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying
anything
that
about a fine reduction.
How do I get that taken care of?
You'll need to talk to code enforcement, but that's not before me today.
I have talked.
Oh, well,
I've talked. I told
keep
them it's an
talking.
erroneous fine, false fine, and I have
I
a lien
understand
on
that, sir,
the
but you're not doing
property.
yourself any favors. I don't have any jurisdiction over that today. I can't speak to you about a fine reduction. That's not what's before me today. I don't have any of that information. It's not on the agenda, I don't believe. But all that's before me today is the violation
Well, it's this
hearing.
property, so I'm just.
I understand that,
bringing it
but
up.
let's keep the testimony limited to
Okay.
what's before me
But
today.
anyway, I did all that, and I wasn't notified of the hearing. And then, so I got a second hearing, came down, and she met me at the door and said, "It's all been taken care of, just sign this." I signed it, and it's still, anyway, I'm really disgusted with the city on this, and
I understand that, sir.
and-
Let me ask you one more question. So the
Okay.
documents that have been scrolling across the screen, do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record? There's the notice documents for today's hearing and the photographs that the city code officer took.
yeah, well, I'd like to have mine too, because mine are much more complimentary. I don't know why. I get frustrated because she's working for me. I'm her employer, but it's more of an aggressive, and the previous
So I didn't
woman.
hear your answer, sir, on
Okay.
the documents. Any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
As long as I can email you mine.
You can email the city your 15 photographs.
Okay.
And
I can get the address from
you
her.
can, yeah, you can get with the code enforcement officer, and she'll let you know how to.
But we've
present.
been over
Special-
about.
Excuse me, sir, just for the record, Special Magistrate, if I may just have the email address being presented on the record, so that could you provide the email address that he needs to?
Yes, he has it, but I will give it to him again,
It's to you or to the city?
to me, and then I will upload it into my case, this case. Yes,
Do you
sir.
have that email address, sir?
Yes,
Okay, great, thank you.
but I don't know whether to trust her because I've been lied to before, and
Well, sir,
I don't know what to do.
that's the only way to get the documents in. So if
Okay.
you can
Okay.
send them to, I don't know if there's another email address that could be given to him, another city employee, if that's an option.
You can email the supervisor, Mark Joyce.
we have been.
Would you like his email, sir?
Sure.
Okay, it's M as in Mary, J as in Jack, OYCE @WPB.org. Did you need me to repeat it?
I got it.
You got it?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
But we worked on this, Kathy and I worked on this place for 2 days, and 3 other people helped me work on it, repairing the fence and the gate behind there. And the other thing was, I did not get the certified letter. I got a notice that said, sign this. I put it in the mailbox, and I didn't get the letter back. And I had to call the city and find out who the code officer was to even get her to email me this.
The hearing, okay, well, the affidavit of posting was just
that was
on the
done-
screen, so.
That was done on the 5th of March, which was like 2 or 3 weeks after the code violation was posted.
I understand that, sir. Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
Just that I've been over backwards, and 5 of us worked on this place. Even one of the neighbors helped, and the neighbors across the street called this property the lungs of the neighborhood. If you walk down that sidewalk in the summer, people said, "Oh my gosh, it's like air conditioning." because it's nice and cool and shady. And it's an asset to the city. It's complete, the property is completely organic, has never had any pesticides or poisons on it for 26 years, and it has a rain barrel that you do any watering with on the property.
So you're very environmentally friendly. I hear that, and I can see that from the property. The
And-
balance is that you have to comply with the city's code, so you have to strike that balance. And it sounds like in the past you've been able to do that. So it sounds like what I'm hopeful of is that in this case you can work with the code enforcement officer and get back to a place of compliance and then stay out of code
I would like
enforcement.
to request another code officer. I've worked with code officers before, and Robert Creston, I worked with him, and
So you'll need to,
I don't-
speak with the city. I don't
Okay.
control the city staff, so you'll need to speak with perhaps the supervisor about
Yeah.
that, but I don't have any authority over who's your code officer. Okay?
all right, yeah, because I'm really frustrated because I've been over backwards. I've got it under code, except for, a couple of,
A few things, and
outdoor storage.
you'll get there. I understand that. I appreciate the efforts that you've taken to
But
get toward compliance.
I don't want to rely on her to bring it under code because I've had that before, and it
I
never was
understand
brought
that,
under
sir,
code.
but you'll need to speak with the code enforcement supervisor. As I said, I
Okay.
don't control who the code enforcement officers are. All I'm looking at here today is the documents that are before me, the documents that you've brought. I'm hearing what both sides are saying. That's all that's before me today.
Okay.
You can certainly speak with the city code supervisor, and hopefully he can address your concerns, but that's not within my purview this morning, okay?
Okay.
Anything further from the city?
No, other than, all my conversations with him has been fine. There's been no issues on either side, so I just want to let it be noted that there was never an issue. All of a sudden today, I guess it appears that I'm an issue, but I just want that noted.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I've tried to be polite and talking over the phone, but
All right, thank you both for that. In case CE 24021437, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'm also going to enter the respondent's 15 photographs dated April 3rd, which he's going to email to mjoyce@wpb.org. I'm going to ask you to email those within 48 hours, okay? Get them to the city quickly, okay?
okay.
Based on and I'm going to label those as Composite Exhibit R1. Based on the photographs that I've seen from the city's case file, as well as the photographs that respondent presented here on his phone, again dated April 3rd, I'm going to find respondent in violation of section 74-4-C-4, 74-4-C-1, and 94-302A4, 18106G, 18106A, 7894C, 94446 2C3, 7434A1H, 18106B, 9471C, and 7862. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to comply. I'm going to require you to comply with those sections within 90 days, or I'm going to assess a fine of $100 per day for each day thereafter that the violation continues. And for the record, I'm going to find, based on the delivery of the certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting from February 13th, that the city had good service for today's hearing. So keep in touch with the city code officer. I'm going to give you, as I said, 90 days. You need to get into compliance within 90 days.
Okay, could you tell me what all those violations are? Were they all the violations?
That's right. That's all the violations. That's correct.
They are, well, the numbers are done. She had me redo the numbers.
There's not a number on the second structure. That's the testimony I have today. But that's my ruling, sir. You'll get the
But-
order either here or it'll be mailed to you. But you need to work with the code enforcement officer to get, as she said, and as you've said, you've worked toward compliance, but the testimony and what I've ruled today is that you remain in violation of all those sections. So,
Even the trash can? I mean,
correct.
the trash can's not there. What do you mean?
I have photographs that it is there.
I just showed you a photograph. It's not there. I moved it today. I showed you the photograph. There's,
But that doesn't change the
and
fact
the
that there was a
si-
violation.
what about the sidewalk?
Sir, I'm not going to argue with you. That's
Okay,
the ruling, okay?
okay.
You'll get an
But-
order in the mail. I would suggest that you work with code enforcement to get into compliance.
I have been working, but.
Continue
I'm-
to work with them,
I'm
sir,
really
okay?
disgusted.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, case number CE 24011-321, case address 610 37th Street.
Good morning. Sandy Mills Code Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on January 23rd, 2024. Service was accomplished by a certified mail sent on January 23rd, 2024. Certified mail is still in transit. In addition, both the city and property, the property and City Hall were posted on March 15, 2024. I have not been in contact with the property owner. Initially, the original hearing date was scheduled for March 6th, and due to scheduling conflict, was pushed back to today. And the property was cited for swale/parkway maintenance, as well as have an open area which needs grass, the alleyway maintenance, as well as the landscape needing maintenance. As of yesterday morning, the property has partial compliance. The open area is still an issue, it needs grass. And the city is asking for an additional 30 days and $100 per day thereafter if compliance is not achieved.
What was that, 100 you said?
100, yes.
Okay. And which section did you say complied?
Everything except for 94-442-C-1.
Okay, so that's the only one in violation.
That's correct.
Okay.
And the pictures we're looking at today, the photographs, you personally took those photographs?
That is correct.
And the photographs, if we can just go to the one that's actually not in compliance, which is the 94-442-C-1.
Right.
Is that the photograph that reflects that violation?
Yes,
And that truthfully and accurately depict the violations you observed?
it does.
Nothing further from the city.
All right, your name, sir? Good morning.
Tomas Garcia.
Thank you. So you're the property owner.
Yes.
So you've heard what the city has said. It sounds like you complied too, but you need to put some grass down. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. They're asking me to give you 30 days to do that. Is that enough time for you to do that?
It should be about enough time. I think I can make it up in 30 days.
It's that area right there, right?
That is correct.
It's around the tree, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, question is 30 days from today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, should be fine.
And he doesn't need a permit or anything to do that. He just
No.
puts
And
sod down.
he does have the option of putting in other plants along with grass if he chooses to.
Okay. All right, so those documents, if I could see the affidavit of posting. And then I guess the notice, I didn't see the notice yet either. Okay. Okay, thank you. And could I see the notice of violation? Okay, thank you. And you're not looking for findings of fact on the two that complied?
No.
Okay. All right, sir, any objection to the documents being entered into the case file? Okay, thank you. With that, in case CE 2401-1321, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. Anything further you'd like me to hear?
Just a question though. Once that's done, I just have to send it to you or I have to submit something here?
No, typically you want him to call you, is that right? Once it's done so you can reinspect?
Yes.
And then like I told the person, I think you were sitting in here, once you get complied, you may want to get an affidavit of compliance for your file so that you know you're out of code enforcement trouble.
Yep.
All right, anything further, sir?
That's gonna be it.
All right. With that, I've entered the case file. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs and the testimony of city staff that the respondent's in violation of section 94-442C1, and I'll require respondent to comply within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. Get it done within the 30 days. As I told the previous people, the fine will start running on the 31st day. You don't want that, so get some grass or vegetation down there, and you'll be out of code enforcement.
All right.
Okay, best of luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 11, case number CE 24011-285, case address 914 10th Street.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was posted, City Hall, on 3/19/2024. Cert mail was sent out on 1/11/2024. The property was cited for the following violations: condition of structure and equipment, 18103J. Condition of structure and bathroom conditions for its flooring, 18103H. Electrical problems, 1895A. Lighting in stairway, 1895C. Pest control, 18102-4. Condition of the structure for as plumbing, 18103G. Owner's responsibility for infestation of property, 18102-4C. Interior walls, and 18105C was for non-structural, but it should be 18105B, which is the next one. So remove 18105C, but that's non-residential. This is residential. So 18103B is for interior walls, exterior walls, and the 18103H was duplicated, the very last one, so remove that one also. Complied violations are as follow: the lighting, the outside lighting at front door, and
Was that 1895C?
yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. And the wall repair, which is 18103B for the exterior wall, repair was done. Those two items were complied. All other violations are outstanding. And this was a tenant complaint. And this is what initiated the case regarding the wall, that particular wall right there in that bedroom. A AC air conditioning unit had been removed from that space, and it wasn't closed up properly from the outside. So the tenant called with complaints in regards to the unit itself. So it was several things going wrong in the unit. First, it was roach infestation. The flooring in the bathroom was very soft at the tub area where it appeared to have had a leak. They have outlet covers and outlet plugs that are broken, outlet switch covers that are missing, and the equipment, the one appliance in the kitchen was not working properly. So I haven't been able to get back into the inside of the unit due to the fact that it's been a problem setting up for the inspection. On February 20th, 2024, it was an attempt to do a reinspection of this unit, and Ms. Munnings met me there, and we were having conversation outside of the unit, and I was wondering what time the tenant was going to show up for the inspection, and I called the office to have John Frasca give the tenant a call. I asked Ms. Munnings, gave me the phone number, and the tenant said she was not aware of the inspection. So I informed Ms. Munnings I couldn't go in a unit without the tenant being aware of the fact. And Ms. Munnings was present, and so was the repair person. And in conversation, Ms. Munnings said, well, that might be best because it's bed bugs in the unit now. And we saw on our cameras where she pulled the sofa from the trash pile into her unit, and it had to be full of bed bugs. So when I told Ms. Money, thank God she told me, because I had another inspection and I would carry bed bugs. And those are things we don't go in units for: bed bugs, mold, and anyone sick with COVID. We don't go in units for those three things. And after that conversation happened, Ms. Barnes informed me that she was trying to get the place exterminated for the bed bugs. And the bottom unit, I believe, had just gotten a new tenant. And she said that that person also had been affected by the bed bugs. And the repair person admitted that he did do the work in the unit and he was bitten by the bed bugs. That was admitted to me by the repair person. So Ms. Moniz called the companies give you what they call a release form for each tenant to sign, and she got all of the rest of the units to sign the release for that extermination except for this tenant. And I explained to Ms. Moniz, there's no way I can go in that unit until that problem is solved.
Okay.
And it's been like that ever since. So Ms. Moniz made a suggestion that maybe she will evict that tenant. I told her the city doesn't get involved in evictions. So that's where we're at today. None of the inside violations that I can verify are in compliance.
Okay.
And just to recap, the notice of violation was posted to both the property and City Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
The owner is here, so notice was effective. And it was certified and regular sent by mail, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And your testimony is that there are currently 6 code violations on this property?
Outstanding, yes, ma'am.
Outstanding. And the pictures that when was the last time you went out? I know you have not been able to go inside the property, but when was the last time you went out to the property?
On the 19th to post it.
Okay.
On 3/19 to post it. That was my last time at the property. But for the inspection, on the 20th of February is when I met Ms. Munnins and the repair person there, and I did do the outside inspections to verify that those were in compliance.
And the pictures, photographs that we're looking at truthfully and accurately depict the violations you observed?
Yes, ma'am.
The last time you were able to observe them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further from the city?
Thank you. Can I see the affidavit of posting, please?
I received,
Hold on,
letter
just
from
one
her.
second for me, ma'am. Hold on, just one second.
That's it, right?
There it is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, your name, ma'am?
Yes, I received a notice,
Well, hold on, what's your name?
Elizabeth Munnings.
Thank you, and you're the property owner?
Yes.
She's the landlord.
Okay,
And my son works with me.
okay. What's your name, sir?
I'm Wilton Munnings.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
All right, I received a notice that, about the violations. It seems to me that if there were violations, the tenant should have at least spoken to the owner. That was never done. She was angry because the air conditioning, well, the house wasn't built for air conditioning. You know, it's that the house was built in some time ago. And, but I put some air conditioners in the windows just to make the tenants comfortable. This particular air conditioner misfunctioned, and I had it taken out. She wanted to take the rent money and buy another one. And I told her that she gives me the rent money and I'll take care of it. Okay. When I went to take care of it, she had put locks on her door, which I knew nothing about. That's against the lease. She's broken the lease over and over and over again.
Is she still in there right now?
She is there now. I've asked her to move since August of
Okay.
23, and she's still there complaining. I went through eviction. The judge closed the case before the sheriff got to the point that they were going to change the locks. And so we're at the point now. So I was going to really do another eviction. But
Okay.
anyway, her lease is just about up.
Her lease is coming up?
Yes, in June.
Okay,
And so I just, my lawyer said probably the better thing to do, just let the lease go out. So
Okay.
anyway, in June, the lease will be gone.
Okay.
Okay, and many of these things that she has on this paper, I never heard of them before. They told me to change the toilet seat. I never sat on the toilet seat. They did it. And if it's broken, they broke it. But I fixed it. I did the things that I had a construction company. We went in there and we took care of everything that was on here. Because I was going to redo the place anyway once she got out of there.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, I had a construction company. They went in and they took care of everything. I have the forms that I have the bill from the instruction company.
So you're saying that you've had all the work done to comply all the violations? Do you have photographs
Yeah,
of that?
it was all done. But when the inspector came, she told me she couldn't go in because the person who made the complaint wasn't there. Well, she rushed out that morning. She knew that they were supposed to come, but she got out of the way. So so the place was never inspected, but everything that's on the sheet has been done, and it is done by Nouveau Construction Company.
What's the city seeking in terms of remedy?
Well, Ms. Munnings and I had spoken in reference to trying to give her time to either deal with the tenant by eviction or letting the lease run out. So I was amenable to actually going that length of time, either or $100 per day after.
Okay, so like what's today, April? So
Today is
90
April 3rd.
90 days.
Yes,
If the lease
ma'am.
runs out at the end
Yes.
of June, then you could go
Yeah.
in the beginning of July, so 90
Exactly,
days.
exactly. And the repair person was there that day that verified that he did all the work inside, but it was just a matter that I could not go inside. Because if a tenant is not notified and we take entry to the property, then anything can be said that we were entered the property without that tenant's permission. So I was gonna let Ms. Munnings handle that part on how to get in the unit with the tenant's permission. Other than that, me and Ms. Munnings has had a very cooperative relationship.
Okay, my son wants to say something.
Go ahead, sir.
You asked if there were pictures sent, and there were pictures sent to Mr. Joyce and to Ms. Luster. And I'm surprised they're not in the record already. But I sent those pictures via email to both of them.
When did you send them?
Those were sent, I think, February 28th.
The only picture I received through Mark Joyce was the a picture of extermination bill that dated previous, before I even entered the unit. It was not the bill or the invoice regarding the bed bugs. It said something about ants. So other pictures I have not received.
And I have, I've sent that information also to Ms. Luster and to Mr. Joyce. And what she's referring to is Mr. Joyce asked if we had gotten all of the extermination done. And I called Massey Extermination because he wanted it to come from the extermination company. They sent me the email telling me when this was done. It was actually done on February 12th, 2024, not whatever time we're referring to here. So I just wanted to let you know that this was done in a timely manner. We tried, once we received the notification, we tried to address this notification as quickly as possible. The construction guy, it was close to $5,000 that we spent to correct all the issues inside and outside. And we also, with Massey, we signed a agreement with Massey for
Continuing.
for continuing
Yeah, okay.
service. Now, here's where the problem is. My mom's 97, getting ready to be 98 years old. She does things in a different manner. Okay, so I'm hoping you with me. She has run this property since I've been born. But the thing about it is, a lot of the extermination companies don't tint the properties as they have in the past. They have new techniques. And someone at Massey, because she uses them over at her house, sold her on the fact that she needed more.
Oh, no.
And so I still have to work that out. I'm trying to work through things to make sure that people aren't selling her stuff that is.
She doesn't necessarily
I've been
need,
working
yeah.
with her for the last 5 years on all her finances but there's, she's independent and she likes to do things, and so she made that arrangement.
Okay.
Now, I still want to, of course, we don't mind doing anything for it to be, and that's what we've proven through paying this. We tackled the issue as soon as we got the notification. And, only thing we wanted to do was get this resolved before coming here today, because it was a date on there of March 8th. This work was done February
Prior to that,
14th.
okay.
May I inquire, Special Magistrate?
Go ahead, yes.
May I inquire, sir, did you find the email and that you sent the pictures?
Yes,
regarding
I
the
sent the pictures February 28th to Ms. Luster and to Mr. Joyce.
I think she's asking you if you found it on your
If
phone.
you found it on your phone,
Oh,
then
I
you
have
could.
it right here, yes.
Okay, where
haven't
you
seen
sent
the
it to them,
Would you
because
like-
we did not receive the pictures.
Okay, I can show it to you.
And also, ma'am, you look great for 97.
Yes,
I wish I looked like that when I get to your age, hopefully.
Yes, she does.
We'll be waiting for now.
And these are the pictures that depict the inside work?
Let me ask the city real, go ahead.
These pictures depict all of the work, except the work that she's already,
Seen?
no, the outside wall.
That she complied, you
talked
mean?
about the outside
Yeah,
wall.
okay.
And the picture from the contractor didn't come through to me, but all these are pictures from the contractor that took the pictures.
And if you could show, Ms. Lutzer, in addition to, do you have a copy of the email perhaps that where it was sent to us? Okay.
Yeah, I got that one. I took that one myself. No, I haven't seen any of these.
All this was it.
Okay,
Yes.
Can I speak to the extermination?
go ahead.
You can, you were sworn in at the beginning, correct?
Yes.
Very good, go ahead, sir.
So I informed Mr. Munning, and that's what he's referring to, is that if he has the property exterminated for the bed bugs, then we would go in and do the inspection. That was after the 20th when she met on the property. So he subsequently did email me a bill from Massey, I suppose it is, but it was from the 12th, or 8 days before she was there and the place had bed bugs. Right, so.
So you don't yet have an invoice showing that it was exterminated for bed
Right,
bugs after?
and actually,
I
the
never got 'em,
invoice
but
that
I
they
understand.
sent says ants on it. So
check it every day.
they
We're
weren't.
still waiting for the extermination of the bed bugs, but.
You're still waiting to have that done?
Because, yes, the tenant who made all these complaints, because she's angry, and she brought the couch in with all these bed bugs. When she found out that it was full of bed bugs, she pulled it out. Going by one of the other tenants, I guess some of them hopped off, and they got into her apartment. All right, so the extermination company told us what we had to do to get ready to be exterminated.
Okay.
Okay. The other tenants got everything ready. The tenant
She did not
brought-
get everything ready,
who
okay.
caused all this problem did not do what she was supposed to do. I called her and asked her. She said she just didn't have time, and so she was going to go ahead and do her part. but she never did it. She hasn't done it as of today.
Okay. You said her lease is up, is it up June 30th?
Yes, yes. Except for we're expecting some issues with that, with this particular tenant. And it's gonna be a fight to get this person out of this property.
So you're saying you still may have to go through an eviction, period?
Oh, yeah, I think we're gonna have to go through an eviction.
Are you gonna start that now?
Well, yes, so as of April 30th, or April 29th, we're gonna give her a 60-day notice that she is to be out of the property in June 30th. And then, then we're also going to go through the eviction process and back to the
Back to the judge?
Yeah, back to the judge, back to the sheriff, and see. And if it's not done on the 30th, we want to get this person evicted. Now, here is the issue. Also, Special Magistrate. My mom is now the exterminator. She's tried to take care of this property all my life. And when she hears things, she takes it on as being the actual truth. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just wanted you to know she's not an exterminator. And when I did talk to Massey, in my mind, it was clear that they sold her on what they thought she needed.
Okay, so I'm worried about, I want to give you time to do this, but it can't be forever. So, I'm happy to give you probably 120 days is necessary.
I'm good with that.
Is the city
Special
okay with
Magistrate.
that?
Yes, I am. Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
I am.
How many days did she say?
120.
120 days, but I would encourage you, especially if you expect you're going to have a holdover tenant, I would encourage you to start the eviction process sooner rather than later. If you think she's not going to leave at the end of June, don't wait till the end of June to start that process, because then you're 2 more months into there. And also, you may have I don't know if you have an attorney, but you may have an attorney review your lease. You may have some recourse against her to try to compel her to let your bedbug guy come in and do the extermination, because she shouldn't be able to not allow you to have that done. That's creating not only problems for the rest of your tenants, but it's creating problems for you with regard to the city. So you may look at your lease as well and see if there's anything you can do there. But I'm happy to give you time, because it sounds like you're trying to make every effort. The rub for me is that it is a rental, it is a business. You happen to have an unpleasant tenant, but you're going to have to figure out a way to either get them out or get them to comply, because the city can't go on forever waiting and these are, bed bugs, that's a pretty serious thing. The roaches are a little bit easier, but the bed bugs, that's going to affect your other tenants as well.
Yeah.
So it's in everybody's best interest to get that dealt with. I am happy to hear that the repair work is done, but you need to have the inspections done so that the city can ultimately comply you out. But I'll give you 120 days. I think that should be enough time, but I do encourage you to start the process sooner rather than later, so that you can get into compliance by that time frame. Let me ask you, any objection to the documents that you've seen on the screen being entered into the record today?
Yeah, I would like the information that I sent to Officer Luster and to Mr. Joyce entered into the record. We have 2 documents. One is the documents with the pictures that show the work completed. As of February 28th is when I sent that. And
Is that what you just looked at, Ms. Lester?
I just looked at it on his phone, but I didn't receive it on February 28th. But, Mr. Joyce?
Received some photos from Mr. Munning. I'm trying to look at them on my phone. And I believe we tried posting them or attaching them to the case there, because we could see the Massey and stuff, but they're not opening, so maybe they're not.
They're not downloaded.
No,
attached correctly.
that's the second one that I'm referring to. The one with Massey is the one that they're referring to that said on February 12th is when Massey went out to do the spraying.
I have that one.
You have that one.
No,
Okay, so the city doesn't have any objection to that being entered also into the record. It looks
No
like it's,
objection, sir, let me just put it on the record. No objection to that being entered, And just for clarification, Mr. Joyce, did you receive the photos being referenced by the gentleman? We've just
Yes.
not been able to upload it, is what you're saying,
I have
correct?
an email with his photos.
Okay, thank you, and the
So
city...
no objection to those being entered?
That
in
is correct, Special Magistrate.
And I also would like the emails that I've been sending both Mr. Joyce and Ms. Luster entered into the record also, because I chronicleize everything that's going on in a timeline. We have had some conversations, but I tried to use email to speak with Officer Luster.
I believe I attached the emails per our conversations.
So I don't mind introducing that here today. The city is not objecting to that. I would encourage you, if you're ever before a magistrate again, bring printed out copies of everything that you've sent to the city, because it's very difficult with the phones to.
I understand.
It's better to have the actual paper so that they can be put into your case file. But I'll go ahead and enter those additional documents that the city acknowledges having received without objection.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
objection from both of you for the documents that the city is attempting to enter into the record?
No.
Okay, with that, in case CE 2401-1285, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1, and I'll enter respondents' exhibits, which were emailed to the city as composite exhibit R1. Anything further you'd like me to hear? Either of you?
No,
All right, thank you. So with that, in this case, I have entered the respective records. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs and testimony that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103I, 18103H, 1895A, 18102.4, 18103G, 18102.4C, and I'll require respondents to comply within 120 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. Best of luck to you both. Thank you for coming today, and keep in touch with the city on your progress.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, back to agenda item number 1, case number CE 24021435, case address 413 South Chillingworth Drive.
This is case number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is rescheduled.
Then I have agenda item number 2, case number CE 24021502, case address 619 14th Street.
Who's doing Xavier's cases?
Are you doing 3? I'm doing 10.
I'm sorry, Special Magistrate, we're just, we've had some absences out sick
okay.
today, so we're.
Yes, we're rescheduling number 2 and 3 as well.
Reschedule 2 and 3 on the agenda, please. Thank you.
Agenda item number 4, case number CE 23121194, case address 2233 Dock Street.
Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Notice was sent via regular mail and certified mail, which was signed for on 12/16/2023. Both the property and City Hall was posted on 3/14/2024. I've had no contact with the property owner, and this violation was discovered on 3 different advertisements. The city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
200, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And this is, the address is 2233 Dock Street,
Yes, ma'am.
and we have 2 violations as to this property.
Rental license and certificate of use.
And just give us a little background as to now how you know this property is a rental property.
Discovered it's being advertised for rent.
Okay, and were you able to check with the city to see if there are any rental permits issued?
There is no application on file and there isn't a license in the system
And when did you check that system, sir?
as of this morning.
As of this morning? And just to recap, you said there was notice posted at the property in City Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
And notice was also sent regular and certified mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was the, do you know,
It went to the address on the property appraisal, which is somewhere in Broward County.
okay. And were you able to speak with anyone?
No, ma'am.
Is the property, to your knowledge, occupied?
It's not occupied, but it is advertised for rent. Once it's advertised for rent, it becomes a violation.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further from the city?
Okay, thank you. And we're past the point of respondents, correct? Nobody else signed in? Okay, for the record, the respondent is not present. If I could just see the posting affidavit next.
Posting.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. I might have missed it. There we go, I did miss it, thank you.
There's another photograph too.
Perfect, that's exactly it, thank you. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Nothing.
All right, in case CE 23121194, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of city staff as well as the evidentiary case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 22441 and 2232A. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Agenda item number 5, case number CE 23121167, case address 233 Cortez Road.
This property too was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Violation was sent out via regular mail and certified mail. The certified mail was returned. The property and City Hall was posted on 3/14/2024. I've had no contact with the property owner. However, yesterday on a re-inspection, I met with a realtor who was at the property with a plumber. And she informed me that she was not the realtor, but I gave her a business card to give to the realtor who is responsible for the listing of this property, because this violation was discovered through a listing online on several different platforms, and I'm yet to hear from anyone. So the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
And you're saying it's because of the listing itself, that's the violation?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were able to check with the city system whether a rental application or permit was done?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were your findings?
There's no application on file or no license on file in the city system.
Okay. And and I'm seeing where it was posted on the property?
Yes, 314.
And City Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you've made no contact with the owner?
I've had no contact with the owner, but I did run into a realtor yesterday who had a plumber there doing some work, but she was not the listing agent. So I gave her a business card to give to the listing agent to get in contact with me to let them know that there's a violation on the property and it goes to a hearing today.
And no one has contacted you since?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further from the city?
Thank you. For the record, the respondent's not present. In case CE 231-21167, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of city staff that the respondent's in violation of section 2232A, and 22441. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9, case number CE 24011-348, case address 441 37th Street.
Good morning, Sunny Mills Code Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property, 441 37th Street, was cited on January 26, 2024. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on January 26, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on February 17, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on March 15, 2024. The property was cited for not having correct numbering, address character, the alleyway maintenance, as well as inoperable vehicle, swale/parkway maintenance, as well as obstructing the right-of-way. As of yesterday morning, the property still has not come into compliance, so the city is requesting an additional 30 days and $100 per day thereafter if compliance is not achieved.
How many violations are on this property? I thought I heard 3 that you
5.
mentioned. Okay. And you're saying none of the 5 listed here on the agenda has been complied with?
That's correct, nothing.
And when was the last time you went out to the property?
Yesterday morning, the 2nd.
And you personally observed those violations?
That is correct.
And the pictures that were being shown, are those pictures, photographs, a truthful and accurate representation of the violations you have personally observed?
It is.
And you stated you have made no contact with the owner?
That is correct.
Was the notice of violation sent out regular mail, to your
That is
knowledge?
correct, it was. And it was also signed for certified mail on February 17th.
Is the property occupied, to your knowledge?
It seems as if it's occupied because there are 2 units.
Okay.
Sometime last year when I was going through the alley, I did see someone there, and I mentioned the vehicle, and he said he would have it taken care of.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further from the city?
All right, thank you. And the vehicle, I saw that photo, it's an expired tag is what
That is
you
correct.
cited, okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 24011348, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service as well as the signed certified mailings. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file that the respondent is in violation of section 7866, 744C5, 34102A, 7894C, and 781. And I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Agenda item 10, case number CE 24021484, case address 2165 Beautiful Ave.
Good morning, John Fosco, West Palm Beach Code. This property was originally cited by Xavier Morales, who no longer is employed with the city. So I picked up the case and continued with it. I posted the property on March 8th of 2024 in City Hall. Certified mail was sent by city staff on February 20th of 2024. I checked recently to see if the mail was claimed. The certified mail was sent back unclaimed. In inspecting the property, when I posted the property, it was overgrown, as you can see by the pictures, and there was debris and vegetative debris. He cited it for unsanitary conditions, swale and parkways need to be sodded, and excessive overgrowth. As far as the parkway and swale is concerned, I found that it's sufficiently sodded, so, and it meets the city's requirements, so we like to strike that.
Is that 78-94-C?
7894-C, yes.
Thank you.
So when I re-inspected the property, the overgrowth was cut. However, it appeared at that time that I re-inspected the property that they had bagged some of the trash and debris, and they put it in specific areas for the city to pick up. which there's no service and the city does not pick that up. So I referred that to the sanitation department, which wrote a citation and subsequently abated the property and picked up that trash. However, that did not comply the property in its entirety for the unsanitary conditions. There's still vegetative debris strewn throughout the property. There's an area in the alleyway where there's a pile of debris that still needs to be picked up. Then on the south side of the property, there's another pile of vegetation that's still on the property, and on the north side of the property.
So was that the photos that we were just looking at? There was a
go
bag and some palm fronds or something?
Yeah.
We can go to today's, right. In the interim of all of this, we found a dead cat on the property, which I also had sanitation
So can you go back down one? Is that what you're talking about, the piles of brush?
Yes, ma'am, that's the pile that faces the alleyway on the south side and then along the fence.
Okay. So the excessive growth complied?
Yes, ma'am, that was complied.
Are you seeking a finding of fact on that, or?
No, because it was complied when I
Before your
went
time,
reasonable
okay.
period of time when I went out to re-inspect.
Okay.
So is it your testimony that the only violation outstanding is the clean and sanitary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is, I'll just reiterate that the city helped comply the property with you saw the bags and the debris that they just left there.
What remedy are you seeking? What compliance date?
The city is requesting 15 days or an abatement on the cleaning up of the property. If we could go to the pictures that I took this morning, because I took pictures yesterday. I met with the sanitation department yesterday, and then I went there this morning and took pictures. So you can see that there's vegetative debris that was taken this morning. See where the vehicle is, right there? And then you saw where the
Is that cut
alleyway.
bushes or is that live bushes?
No, they're dead. They're just branches that
Okay.
that have been cut and then
And put
in
there?
place there.
Okay.
And then you see the pile of vegetation there. You see some of the litter that's strewn throughout the property, and you see it along the fence. That's all loose vegetative debris. And then there should be another picture where there are palm fronds that are on the property that you can see. See, in there.
And I guess give me a little bit more detail relative to the request for abatement.
I'm sorry.
Give me a little bit more detail about the request for abatement. It seems like you have respondents who are somewhat compliant.
Right, that's why I said 15 days. They'll get your notice and hopefully they'll see, they'll get the order, hopefully they'll see it. Because I'm assuming that the regular mail went through on this property because the grass was cut. So I'm hoping that in 15 days, by the time the mail gets there, they get the order, that they'll see it, and maybe they'll contact the city and they'll know that hey, you gotta do it.
But what's your concern? You're saying that's the health, safety, welfare, those couple of piles that are on there are
Oh,
health,
yeah,
safety,
that could-
welfare?
Absolutely. All of
Okay.
that debris could blow into the street, in traffic, could cover our storm water drain if during heavy rains, flood the streets.
May I inquire as to if that's the case, would the city then pick up the debris and charge the owner for the service provided? I've seen where that has occurred before.
I wouldn't say, given the weather conditions, that it's an immediate safety threat, but over a period of time, because it accumulates, the risk is greater.
Were the pictures with the bags, the pile of bags, are they still there? Or they
I'm
were-
sorry?
The pictures with the garbage bags, the piling of the garbage bags, are those still there?
No, ma'am. That's what the
City.
sanitation department picked up.
Okay, thank you. And the pictures that we're, the photographs that we're seeing today truthfully and accurately depict the violations you're testifying as to?
Yes, they
and
do.
observed? Okay, thanks.
And it's your testimony, I just want the record to be clear, it's your testimony that the remaining piles constitute a health, safety, welfare violation, is that correct?
Yes, they will, and they do, and they will.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right. Anything further from you, ma'am?
No.
Okay, thank
Special
you.
Magistrate, thanks.
In case CE 24021484, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. If I could just see that affidavit of posting there at the top. Thank you. All right, I'll find based on the evidentiary case file and the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the city code officer that the respondent is in violation of section 18-106A and that violation constitutes a health, safety, welfare violation. I'll require respondents to comply with that section within 15 days or authorize the city to abate the violation to remedy the health, safety, welfare violation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 12, case number CE 240-11358, case address 800 South Mangonia Circle.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was cited, posted in City Hall, posted on 3/19/2024. Cert mail was sent out on 1/29/2024. Property was cited for the following violations: vehicle on roadways, unpaved parking, restriction, storage of vehicle on public right-of-way, and restriction of use of property, was using it for auto mechanic work. Oh, I forgot the numbers. 86-22-8, vehicle on roadway. 94-485A, use of parking and loading area. 94-482A, unpaved parking. 94-6, restricted use of land. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. 78-1, obstruction of right-of-way. 86-226, parking on swell and/or parkway. And the following violations: the transient use of the property for auto mechanic. It has slowed down to almost none, but I want that to be a finding of fact because this particular property owner has been known to start it back up. So I'm asking for the 94-6, the restriction of land use, to be a finding of fact. The parking on the public right-of-way, that's the video, y'all.
Oh.
Scared me.
I know, I was like, what's that?
I hit video on my camera instead of just photo. But anyway, that was a good one. They're parking their personal vehicles on the public right-of-way in the manner of storing them because their driveway is full of vehicles that don't work or don't move often. Some have out-of-state tags. Some, for some odd reason, different vehicles come. It's my suspicion, and I am going to go on record with it, that he's buying vehicles from auctions and doing whatever repairs he needs to do to them at the property. And once he gets rid of some, he brings more. I haven't proved that yet, but I will. And so he's using the public right-of-way to store the vehicles that he drives, some of them, because some of them stay sitting on the road 24/7. So those codes in regards to the vehicles on the public right-of-way are outstanding as of today. And he parks vehicles in the wrong direction. So when you're coming upon this vehicle, you get the lights, they're parked the wrong way. And I do know that I've had the police to go out there on several occasions to give parking tickets. And, you know, it's hard to get the police to do it on a regular basis. So I'm asking for 10 days or $100 per day to hopefully stop this kind of activity at this location. And he's on a corner lot at a stop sign, and it has gotten very, very hectic with that particular location because you have other property owners that also feel like they can park on the road, but nobody leaves their vehicles on the road basically 24/7, but he does.
And, I'm sorry, have you made contact with the owner?
I spoke to him, he said that he was going to stop. That's exactly what he said. I'm not going to do it anymore, I'm going to stop. And he said that the police gave him permission to park on the road, and I informed him that the police can't give you permission to break the law. So he's well aware of the fact that he cannot park in the manner that he parks, but he's continuously doing it.
And, okay, thank you. And the pictures and the video that we were shown today truthfully and accurately depict the violations you're testifying as to and observed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
All right, and just so I'm clear, the 94-6 you wanted a finding of fact on, and everything else is out of compliance, correct?
Correct. Mhm.
Okay. In case CE 240111358, excuse me, I'll enter the city's composite exhibit, the city's case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents for today's hearing that the city had good service. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 86-228, 94-485A, 94-482A, 18-106A, 78-1, and 86-226. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 10 days or be assessed a fine of $100 a day. I'll also find that the respondent was in violation of section 94-C, but since complied, but did not comply within the time specified in the notice of violation, so I'll issue a finding of fact for that code section.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 13, case number CE 24021483, case address 1206 North Dixie Highway.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was posted in City Hall on 3/19/2024. Cert mail was sent on 2/16/2024. The property was cited for the following violations: 18-106A, clean and sanitary; 18-106I, litter, trash, and debris; 74-4C5, cleaning up one half of easement and/or swell to screed; and 18-106B for excessive growth. All of the violations are still outstanding, and I'm asking for 45 days, being that this is it's a vacant lot that belongs to the Burger King that has now been closed at Palm Beach Lakes in Dixie. And this vacant lot is on the south side of the property, and it's just a matter of the trees being trimmed back around the perimeter. Some are overhanging so low you barely can walk up under them. And then it's just a lot of dead vegetation, foliage, and the litter forest, just the leaves, the dead leaves, and all of that's still on the property. And they are based, I believe, out of California, so I'm asking for 45 days in order to give them some kind of, they haven't did anything for us trying to come into compliance, but I'm trying to give them a little time more. For 45 days or $100 per day.
The pictures photographs we were shown truthfully and accurately depict the violations you're testifying to and observed?
Yes, ma'am.
And just for some clarity, is the property owned by the Burger King, you said?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay.
owned by the Burger King Corp. Yes, ma'am.
And you've been able to speak with someone?
No, I haven't spoken to anyone, and they just haven't responded.
And you said 45 days, and what's the fine? I didn't.
100 per day.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city.
Thank you. In case CE 2402148 I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of city staff that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106A, 18106I, 744C5, and 18106B. And I'll require respondents to comply within 45 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you. Can I inquire whether or not we call case 611 14th Street? It was Xavier Morales' case.
What number is that?
It will be number 3 on the agenda. Did we call that?
Got
I thought it was
rescheduled.
Xavier's. I mean, I thought it was Raphael. Yes. I'm prepared to do Xavier number 3. Yeah, I am. We're gonna recall number.
So number 2, because he's for number 2 as well, agenda item number 2.
No,
for-
item number
just-
2 is
okay.
complied.
All right, so,
Item 3.
item 2 has complied, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, agenda item number 3, case number CE 24021501, case address 611 14th Street.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. The property was posted by the previous code officer, Xavier Morales, on 2/22/24. Cert mail was sent, and the property was cited for 18106B, excessive growth, and 18106A, clean and sanitary condition. As of yesterday, the property is still out of compliance because the properties they have made an attempt because it's a pile of debris for all of the vegetation that they cut is at the road. The city will not pick up from a vacant lot debris. And they also still have the homeless camps on the property. So I will reach out after today with the property owner, which is the Urban League, and notify them that the people are still camping there and that the debris that was cut cannot be picked up. It has to be removed by them. So I was asking for the 15 days or $100 per day, and I will make that effort of contacting the Urban League.
You said $100 a day?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you testify that the notice of violation was sent, cert mail and regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And posted to the
And posted
property?
on 2/22/24.
And you're saying you're going to contact the Urban League. They weren't contacted before?
Yes, they were contacted by cert mail and regular mail.
Okay.
But in the interim of Xavier leaving, the code officer,
Okay.
and me getting the case, I went out there and I seen where they had removed the initial camps and had removed some of their debris. But as I keep an inspection going on properties when I know they're coming up for hearing, so with my riding by looking, is new camps and new debris. So they did make the attempt to solve the problem. But by it being a vacant lot, I'm quite sure they're not keeping up floors day to day on the lot.
Okay, and the pictures, you took the pictures yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I took the
And the
pictures.
pictures truthfully and accurately depict the violations you observed and are testifying to today?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Nothing further from the city?
Okay, perfect, thank you. In case CE 2402150 I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 18106B and 18106A, and I'll require compliance within 15 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, agenda item number 18, case number CE 24021462, case address 708 Tallapoosa Street.
What number?
Good morning. Jay Francis, West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 708 Tallapoosa Street was cited on 2/13/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 2/13/24. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 3/20/24. An affidavit of posting was completed and put in the file. I have been in contact with this property owner, even though he's not here today. The property was cited for trash can in public view, landscape maintenance, and clean and sanitary. As of this morning, all violations are still pending. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days for the property to enter compliance. No, that's the Omar case. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
We'll just wait for the pictures regarding the violations.
Yes, that's
to
fine.
come up. Thank you.
There you go.
And you testified you have been in contact with the owner?
Yes, I've spoken to Mr. Lewis.
Okay. And was he indicating that he would be wanting to comply?
Yes, he spoke about planting seeds by the mailbox area to get rid of the patches of dirt and to have the tenants remove the garbage can and get rid of the trash and debris that's often located in the swale.
And the photographs we're seeing is dated February 12th.
Yes.
Were you able to take any more recent photographs?
I went yesterday, but it was garbage day, so I wasn't able to take any photographs.
Okay, but the photographs we're seeing truthfully and accurately depict the violations that are currently on the property,
Yes.
still on the property?
It was an initial inspection, yes.
Okay. Oh, there are some
As
three
a posting
March
pictures.
20th pictures.
That's the posting pictures.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Nothing further from the city.
Okay, thank you. I guess let me ask you, did you re-inspect after the compliance date and the notice of violation?
Yes,
And it was still out of compliance?
yes, it was still there.
Thank you. And then I didn't hear the monetary amount that you were asking?
$50 a day.
50,
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
He's currently working on it, so.
Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No.
All right, thank you. In case CE 24021462, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting and the notice documents in the case file that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the city code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 7434A1H, 18106K, and 18106A, and I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $50 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Agenda item 19, case number CE 24021534, case address 921 Omar Road has been complied. Agenda item 20, case number CE 24021440, case address 720 Tallapoosa Street.
Good morning, Jay Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 720 Tallapoosa Street was cited on 2/12/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 2/12/24. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 3/20/24. I have also been in contact with this property owner as well. The property was cited for landscape maintenance, artificial turf, and outdoor storage. As of this morning, the artificial turf violation has been complied. The landscape maintenance and the outdoor storage violations are still pending. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days for the property to enter compliance. If they do not come into compliance within this time frame, then the city is requesting $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
And that was 30 days compliance, you said?
30 days, yes.
30 days, thank you.
And so the outstanding violation is 18-106-K?
Yes, the landscape maintenance and the outdoor storage.
Okay. Oh, both?
Yes, it was 3 violations. The artificial turf at the front of the property has been
I think
complied.
the confusion is that's not on the agenda. The artificial turf section isn't on, at least on my
I
copy.
complied it in the case. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. We just want to make sure the
I guess the new
record's
system, when you
preserved.
comply the violation, it just takes it all away.
Oh, okay. We just want to make sure the record's clear. And
Yes,
so
yes,
the-
it's there.
The pictures, the photographs we're seeing, did you take those?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations you're testifying to and are alleging at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further from the city.
That's what I was looking for right there. Thank you. Okay, perfect, thank you. All right, in case CE 240214440, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting and the delivery confirmation on the certified mail that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of city code officer as well as the photographs in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106K and 9471C, and I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $50 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Agenda item 21, case number CE 24021465, case address 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, 218.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On February 12th, the business as well as property at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Unit 218. This business actually houses 218 and 217. The business was cited for business tax receipt and certificate of use. This is a renewal. The property as well as City Hall was posted February 23rd. Certified mail was sent to the property owner as well as the tenant on February 14th. As of February 22nd, the bill for the outstanding payment had not been paid. The business owner did come into compliance on February 23rd. With that being said, city is recommending a finding of fact on this violations.
Okay, thank you. And the reason you're requesting the finding of fact?
Because the bill was not paid on time.
Okay. Nothing further from the city at this point.
Thank you. If I could see the notice of violation. There we go, thank you. So you asked them to comply by the 22nd. Your testimony is they complied the 23rd?
Correct.
Okay, they were so close.
It's been a reoccurring theme with this business. I've been chasing them for the past 3 years, and they never pay on time.
Yeah.
So,
All right, if I could just see the final affidavit of posting, that should. Thank you, I'm sorry I missed it before. Perfect, thank you. All right, in case CE 24021465, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting and the mailing documents in the case file that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the city code officer as well as the evidentiary case file that the respondent was in violation of sections 2232A and 82144, has since complied but did not comply by the date specified in the notice of violation, so I'll issue a finding of fact in this matter.
thank you.
Agenda item 22, case number CE 24031574, case address 10130 North Lake Boulevard, 214.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On March 7th, the business located, UPS store located at 10130 North Lake Boulevard, Unit 214, was cited for business tax receipt and certificate of use. This is also a renewal. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 21st. Certified mail was sent to property owner as well as tenant on March 8th. Reinspection for this in particular business was March 15th. Bill was not paid until March 21st when I posted the property. With that being said, city's recommending a finding of fact on these in particular violations.
Thank you. And the request is because not only did they non-comply, but it's been a habitual, they've not been doing this time.
Past 3 years, they don't pay until I come knocking.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city.
Thank you. And if I could just see the notice of violation. All right, so you asked them to comply March 15th, and you said they paid on March 21st.
The day I posted it, March
So
21st.
getting a little further away from your compliance date.
I try to help as much as I can.
These are easy ones too, easy, but
Simple.
Yes, but they've been continuously late, is what we're
3
hearing.
years running.
all right, anything further from the city?
That's it, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And CE 24031574, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting as well as the certified mailing documents in the case file that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer as well as the documents in the case file that the respondent's was in violation of sections 2232A and 82144, has since complied but did not comply by the date specified in the notice of violation. So I'll again issue a finding of fact in this matter.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 23, case number CE 24021508, case address 1009 Green Pine Boulevard, D3, has complied. Agenda item number 24, case number CE 24021427, case address 5509 Broadway.
City of West Palm Beach, Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on February the 9th, certified mail sent February the 12th. City Hall and property was posted February the 14th. This property was cited for numbering standards, 78-6, clean and sanitary, 18-106A, and failure to comply, 18-215B. This property had come into compliance roughly 3 weeks ago, but it wasn't at the date of my reinspection, so I went back out yesterday to reinspect it. It was just as bad as it was the first time I did the violations, and that was for the clean and sanitary, the trash and things that are out there. As for the numbering standards, they're still out of compliance. One of the police officer Archer got in contact with the property owner and had them clean it up the first time. After that, I've sent out 2 emails and a phone call. I haven't got any response back from the property owner in reference to just adding the address characters. But in hindsight of waiting, I seen the property just became right back what it was. There's trash debris. There's a garbage can enclosure where they used to have their dumpster that's full of trash. And at the time of my reinspection, before my reinspection, that was closed. There was no way to know if it was in there or not. But now that the door is open, there's trash debris everywhere on the inside. So for this one, the city is requesting 20 days or an abatement in reference to the 20 days or any time after before it gets abated, $200 per day of fine.
And you've not been able to make contact with the owner, or?
No, I haven't had any contact with the owner, but yeah.
In your testimony, it was that the NOV was posted, notice of violation was posted to the property and City Hall.
Yes, ma'am.
Sent cert mail and regular mail, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs we're seeing truthfully and accurately depict the observation of the violation as well as the testimony today?
Yes.
Nothing further from the city?
I guess let me ask you, Mr. Watkins, you said at the beginning of your testimony that they complied 3 weeks ago? but
Yeah,
then
3 weeks ago was prior to my compliance date. I was in an email chain, along with Police Officer Archer, that the property had been cleaned up. Also in reference to the neighbors who complained, they were in the email chain as well. So it wasn't quite yet at my compliance date for reinspection. So I usually go back around that time, especially properties like this one that there's no business there. As in going back yesterday even, it was just the same as it was prior to that. The trash debris all over the property, the no address characters, which there weren't in the very beginning as well after they painted.
So they never complied with the address character
No,
violation?
they never complied
Okay.
with that one.
Okay, and then I guess explain to me a little bit about the abatement request.
For the city to go out there and basically clean and just get rid of all the trash and garbage that is strolled around the property.
Okay, and is it your testimony then that the violations, presume that's with regard to, is that all the,
No, that will, where the city's not gonna put up address characters.
so it's just with regard to the clean and sanitary?
Yes, ma'am.
And your testimony is that those amount to health, safety, welfare violations?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't go on the property to actually see, but who's no telling what kind of trash it is in there and no bins. It used to be a meat market, I'm not sure if they've thrown things away, but it seems like some people in the neighborhood have thrown away household trash. So with that alone, you could get, raccoons and all that great stuff to get in there.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 24021427, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the code officer's testimony that the respondent's in violation of section 78.6, 18106A, and 18215B. I'll require respondents to, for code section 78.6, comply within 20 days or a $200 a day fine will be assessed. For the violations of sections 18106A and 18215B, I'll again require compliance within 20 days or a $200 a day fine will be assessed, but I'll also authorize the city to abate in the event of non-compliance after those 20 days.
Agenda item number 25, case number CE 2401129, case address 5203 North Flagler Drive.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited January the 11th. Certified mail was sent January the 11th. Property in City Hall was posted January the 12th. This property was cited for 18-103-B, 18-100, 94-3028-4, 74-4-C-4, and numbering standard 78-6, and 94-487B-1. There'll be a removal of prohibited vehicle, numbering standards, trees obstruction the right-of-way, fence and wall maintenance, safe egress for boarded windows, and condition of structure, exterior walls and windows. As of yesterday, the only item that come into compliance was removal of the prohibited vehicle, which was a extremely large trailer that was in the driveway. With this one, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $100 per day after.
Have you made contact with the owner?
No, ma'am.
And is it occupied or?
Not anymore. It seemed to have been occupied when the trailer was there. There was always a few cars, but as of lately, I haven't seen anyone there.
Okay, we started the pictures since December, I thought, of last year, and these are the most recent pictures?
The most recent would be in the failed reinspection folder.
But the violation has been since last year, December?
There was some I took in December just because I sent out an email. I had correspondence before with this property owner, so I sent out an email and a reference to other things and letting them know. And the December picture was just proof that I was there to let them know. But then after no response and nothing came about, I went back out again and took more pictures. Then I cited the property.
And currently, the photographs we're seeing truthfully and accurately depict the violations we're alleging,
Yes,
based
ma'am.
on your observation and testimony today?
Yes.
And you stated there are 5 current violations, and the last one, 94-487-B1, has been complied with?
Yes.
Nothing further from the city. Special Magistrate.
Thank you. And you said 30 days, or what was the fine amount?
$100 per day after.
Okay. All right, in case CE 24011279, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the city code officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18100, 94302A4, 744C4, and 786, and 18103B. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Agenda item 26, case number CE 24011134. Case address is 5400 Spruce Avenue.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited January the 25th. Certified mail was sent January 25th, City Hall, and the property was posted January the 29th. This property was cited for 74-4C-3 overgrowth, 18-106M landscape maintenance, 94-442C-1 sodding of bare areas, 94-446-2-C-1 tree abuse, 94-34-A-1H trash can in public view, and 94-71C outdoor storage. As of yesterday, the only item that come into compliance was the 94-446-2-C-1, which was a tree abuse. With this one, I've had no correspondence with the homeowner or anyone that represents it. I tried to speak to a tenant yesterday, but due to the language barrier, she and I both were a little confused on what we both were talking about. So with this one, the city is requesting 30 additional days at $100 per day after.
I'm just looking at the current photograph. And the current photographs you personally took yesterday?
Yes.
And those truthfully and accurately depict the violations that you're alleging, as well as testifying as to today?
Yes.
And you've testified you've made no contact with the owner?
No, none with the owner.
But it is occupied?
Yes, there's tenants there.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city.
And on the compliance of the tree abuse, what'd they do? Take the tree all the way out?
No, they took the tree house down. They had it nailed into the tree.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can I see that posting affidavit? I saw it briefly go by, but I didn't see the whole thing. Okay, thank you. All right, in case CE 24011340, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents and the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that this respondent's in violation of section 94-442C1, 74-4C3, 18106M, 7431A1H, and 9471C. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Agenda item number 27, case number CE 2401131, case address 509 54th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited January the 24th. Certified mail was sent January the 24th. City Hall and the property was posted on January the 29th. This property was cited for 94-302A-3 fence permits, 78-94-C sodding of swells, 94-442C-1. Any bare areas in the yard must be landscaped. I've had grass or plantable or sortable plant material and 94-302A-4, fence and wall maintenance. I've had correspondence with the owner as well as his attorney via email. They both told me that that he was not going to plant any sod in the swell or any of the parts of the grass. I went back and re-inspected yesterday, and there was absolutely nothing done in the swell or the bare areas. As of yesterday, none of the violations had come into compliance. He did replace a few slits in the fence, but there were still several areas where it was leaning and dilapidated. So with this one, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $100 per day after.
And so all these violations are still outstanding, is your testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs, I think all the photographs, you personally took these?
Yes.
And it is your testimony that these truthfully and accurately depict the violations you're testifying to and observed when you went out there?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city.
All right, thank you. In case CE 2401-1331, let me just look at that notice. Thank you. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs that are in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent is in violation of sections 94-302A3, 78-94C, and 94-442C1 and 94-302A4. And I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. And can we take a brief 3 or 4 minute recess before we go to the next one? Thank you.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. Oh, they're ready.
All right, with that, I'll reconvene the code enforcement, schedule other matters agenda. It is 12 o'clock, or 12:01 for the record. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate for this portion of the agenda. The first thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify on any items on this portion of the agenda. So if you're here to speak on any of these items, if you could stand and raise your right hands for me. Everybody stand up, raise your right hands for me. If you're here for code enforcement, you want to be sworn in. Thank you. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. All right, with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Magistrate, can I just have 2 minutes to confer with City Council?
Go ahead, sir. Yes. And while he's doing that, I'll explain the process. So when you hear your case called, you're going to come to the podium. I failed to do that earlier. You're going to come to the podium on my right. These are fine reduction hearing cases, so you'll have the opportunity to go first. You have the burden to show me why the fines should be reduced. Once you're finished, I think the city will make a couple of introductory remarks just about the case and what the fine amount is. Then you get to present to me why the fine should be reduced. At the end of the dialogue, I'll make a ruling and you'll get an order that reflects that. So with that, just give the city a couple of minutes and they'll call the first case.
Yeah, that, like I said to Marcus, that's a business decision, unless the stipulation had, or whatever new reduction STIP has. I don't know if it has any late fees or any interest or whatever, but that's a business decision from you guys, for sure. All right, now what?
Sorry about that, Magistrate.
No, you're okay. And you were sworn in when I swore everybody else in?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, very good. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Agenda item 28, case number CE 18010409, case address 353 Gregory Avenue. We also have agenda item number 33, case number CE 200100306, case address 1425 40th Street. Agenda item number 35, case number CE 2210093, case address 623 46th Street. Agenda item number 36, case number CE 20070144, case address is 210 Miramar Way. And then agenda item number 39, case number CE 22050311, case address 623 46th Street.
Okay. So, Magistrate, how would you like to proceed?
She asked me how to call them, and I told her she could call them all into the record. So if you want to go ahead and get everything onto
Sure.
the record, then
Sure.
they usually get a little mixed up anyway, so we might as well call them all in at once.
All right. So let's handle the first one, 353 Gregory. So there's two cases on this one, CE 10409. So for this particular case, this went to magistrate hearing back in January of 2018. This was originally cited for damage to the structure, a permit for shutters that were needed, the driveway needing to be, driveway, sidewalk, and walkway needing to be pressure washed. This went to a special magistrate hearing on March 7th, 2018. It was ordered for the fine to start as of April 9th, 2018. That ran for 591 days at $100 a day for a total of $59,100. We did enter into an agreement beforehand to reduce this lien to $5,000.
Thank you. And then despite what I just told you a moment ago, I just realized that these are different addresses. So let's deal with each address one at a time, and then the ones that are the same address, I see there's a couple that are the same address, those can be dealt with at the same time. She's already read them in the record, so I won't ask you to read them again, but
Yes, ma'am.
if the code officer could just present his evidence one at a time.
Sure.
So you
these-
said the agreement was what? You said 5,000?
5,000, yes, ma'am.
Payable within how many days?
Payable within 30 days.
And you came to an agreement with, I presume, the gentleman standing here?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, your name, sir, for the record?
My name is Ted Topouzis, Topouzis. I'm counsel for US Bank, for LSF 8 and LSF 10.
Okay, and you're in agreement with what the city code officer said?
I
You're
am in agreement, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's an easy one. That's the way to start them off easy. All right, anything further from you, sir? On just this case?
On this particular case, no. It was, you know, I can tell just collectively on all these cases that were just called in, we are the mortgage, we took title through a mortgage foreclosure. And we're not an institutional landlord like you've probably been very familiar with in recent years. You know, these properties were all either occupied at the time of foreclosure, or, you know, we had to vacate the occupant, or there was some circumstances behind that. So that they're collectively going to be this very similar cases.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anything further from the city on this one?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 180-10409, I'll grant the mutually agreed reduction, reduce the previous fine amount from $59,100 to $5,000 payable within 30 days.
Thank you.
All right, for the same address, 353 Gregory Road, case number CE 220-30051. This case was originally cited March of 2022 for expired rental license and certificate of use. That went to a magistrate hearing April 6, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of May 9th, 2022. That ran for 176 days at $100 a day for a total of $17,600. That was complied November 1st, 2022. And again, same representative, we've agreed to beforehand to reduce this fine to $5,000 payable within 30 days.
Mr. Topouzis, are you in agreement with that amount?
I'm in agreement as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, with anything further, Mr. Topouzis? Anything
I'm
further?
sorry, no, nothing
Okay,
further.
very good. Thank you. In case CE 220-30051, I'll again agree to reduce the fine amount from $17,600 to the mutually agreed amount of $5,000 payable within 30 days.
Okay. So on to the next address, 1425 40th Street. There's only one case number under that, CE 200-10306. This case was originally cited January of 2020. They were cited for fence being in disrepair, unpaved parking, a trash can being in view of the public, an operative vehicle parked in the driveway of the property, as well as overgrowth of the yard and swell of the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing February 5th, 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start as of March 7th, 2020. That ran for 1,004 days at a fine of $200 a day for a total of $200,800. This was complied December 6th of 2022. And again, we've agreed beforehand to reduce this fine to $15,000 payable within 30 days.
I'm in agreement with that as well.
All right, very good. Anything further you'd like me to hear?
No.
Okay, very good. In case CE 200100306, I again will reduce the fine amount from the previous amount of $2,800 down to the mutually agreed amount of $15,000 payable within 30 days.
Okay, to the next address, 210 Miramar Way, case number CE 200701144. This case was originally cited back in July of 2020. They were cited for no rental license or certificate of use and advertising of the business there without a license. It went to a magistrate hearing August of 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of September 19th, 2020. That ran for 335 days at $200 a day for a total of $67,000 and was complied August 20th of 2021. Again, we've agreed beforehand to reduce this lien to $8,000 payable within 30 days.
Thanks, Marcus.
Mr. DePouzis, are you in agreement with that?
I am in agreement with that. I did have another question, though. There's another case that I had on my notes, and I wasn't sure if this was, I had a CE 2020, and it was 30342. I don't know if that was a companion case or... No? I could be hallucinating. It's CE, it looks like a 20 case. I've got 030342. CE 03342. We can just cross it out. All right. I did compile this all from several sources, so it's a possibility that I might have made a mistake on that. I'm not sure. I just wanted to ask the question.
Do we have it as a list on ours?
I don't have it as
Okay.
a list, as one of mine, but.
So,
Give us 1 second, we're gonna check the address. Might as well address it if we're here.
okay.
I didn't see it. Yeah, when I looked it up. Maybe if I told you.
So I thought that was both, Marcus.
Say again?
I said I apologize. I thought it was both cases.
Oh, no, not for that address.
Maybe it was just one.
Yeah, just one for that one.
CE 200303442.
Yeah, 200303342. That's closed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Unless you want to pay again.
Yeah.
All right, so nothing further on item 36?
No, ma'am.
All right, you're all set,
Thank
Mr. DePouzis?
Thank you very much.
Okay, nothing further from you, sir?
Not for that case.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Very good. In case CE 200700144, I'll again agree to reduce the previous fine amount of $67,000 to $8,000 payable within 30 days.
Thank you.
And he has one last address, 62346th Street, which has two cases. The first CE 2210093. This case was originally cited back in October of 2022. They were cited for trash can being in the view of the public, landscape maintenance needed on the property, trash and debris and garbage that were present on the property, a boarding certificate needed for the vacant property, and the trees that needed to be trimmed back, presenting a hurricane hazard on the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing November 2nd, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of November 13th, 2022. That ran for 75 days at $250 a day for a total of $18,750. This was complied on January 27th, 2023, and we have agreed beforehand to reduce this fine to $5,000 payable within 30 days.
And I'm in agreement with that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anything further on that case you'd like me to hear?
No, no.
Okay. All right, we're chipping away quickly at these. So in case CE 221000093, I'll again agree to reduce the previous fine amount of $18,750 to the mutually agreed $5,000 payable within 30 days.
Okay. And for the last one for him, again, address 623 46th Street, case number CE 220-50311. This case was cited back in May of 2022. They were cited for sod needed in the swell as well as the yard, trash and debris that were present on the property, garbage can being in view of the public, outdoor storage, boards on windows without a boarding certificate, address characters needed on the structure, as well as paint needed for the structure. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 17th of 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of September 27th, 2022. That ran for 196 days at $250 a day for a total of $49,000. This was complied back in April 11th of 2023. We've agreed beforehand to reduce this fine to $5,000 payable within 30 days.
Yeah, that's correct.
Same thing, you're in
Thank you.
agreement with the reduction to that amount?
That's correct, yeah, and I have nothing further to add.
Okay, thank you, sir. In case CE 220500311, I'll again agree to reduce the previous fine amount from $49,000 down to $5,000, which has been mutually agreed by the parties, payable within 30 days.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted to thank Marcus for putting up with me over the last couple of months as well. We had a nice dialogue. We got everything done. There were a lot of cases that you can see, and I don't know how he didn't take me out to the back of the shed here and take care of me, but he didn't. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Sir, I have the.
Oh, good. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
agenda item number 30, case number CE 21080018, case address 2731 Pinewood Ave.
All right. Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement for case number CE 210800018. This was originally cited in August of 2021. They were cited for trash and debris present on the property, as well as weeds and overgrowth of the yard. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 15th, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of October 18th, 2021. That ran for 184 days at $100 a day for a total of $18,400. This was complied April 20th of 2022. This is the same owner, two cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction of 25% of the lien, or a total of $44,600.
Thank you, sir. All right, sir, your name for the record?
Gavin Gunhigh,
Thank you, sir. What's your relation to the property?
manager.
You're the property manager for RK 2014 LLC?
Yes.
Okay. So you've heard what the city is saying. The city is saying they're willing to reduce the fine down to $4,600. What's your response?
My response is, ma'am, I have so many issues that's going on with these inspectors. I mean, yes, they do their job, but they don't have to lie to get away with it. Originally, when I had this fine, the violation, there was railroad tracks. I was looking for the picture. I didn't see you guys have the picture at that time. You have it for now, but you don't have it for then.
I'm not sure what photograph you're referring to, but either way, the point of today's hearing is not to relitigate the matter. The point of the hearing today is for you to explain to me why the fine should be reduced.
Because the fact remains that I was on top of the violation. The railroad track put railroads in there. the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the inspector's name was Jose, or either Jose or Joe. Not 100%, I don't remember. However, the day of the hearing, I came here at the building department in the lobby, and I met him. He told me he was gonna take care of it. He never did.
Take care of it.
He was gonna take care of the violation, because I had to call the railroad track. It's like I called like 25 departments to get a violation removed. The track was so heavy, I couldn't get the forklift, a lift to lift it up, to move it out. So I had to call them to remove it. However, finally, I got him removed it, and I came here to respond to the hearing, and I met Jose out into, either Jose or Joe, I don't remember his name, in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me verbally, with his words, that he's going to take care of it, and I believe him. So I left. A few weeks later, I called, he wouldn't answer his phone. Keep calling him. I never got a response. So from then, I keep on coming in here, and I'm inquiring and try to find out until, I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but Monique knew everything about it. I've been explaining to her. Get to a point in time I got fed up of it, because even the water bill, I don't want to explain that. I'm going to be doing something about it, because the fact is, I don't have no water in there. I apply for water.
Well, keep again, this is
But I don't want to bring this.
Right, keep this limited to your code enforcement case. That sounds like a
I
whole
just want
separate
to
thing.
prove, I want to tell you what's going on.
Right.
Basically. I'm getting a bill for water, and I never have water.
Okay, that's all, again, that's a whole separate thing.
But I'm
so,
just showing
right.
you, I'm telling you what's going on with me.
Right.
So the situation is that I was going to sell the land. Originally, the land was bought for my son. He's at the time at 9 years old then. So originally, I bought him for his investment when he grew
Okay.
up. Because of this issue, I couldn't get it resolved. I was going to sell it. I went in contract, and this is how the issue came up. I was going to do it. I was going to let the investors, whoever bought it, pay the fine, the violation. But I came here and I talked to Monique, and she advised me, and I took her advice. I came off the contract.
Okay, so what did you have to do to bring the property into compliance? You said something about you had to move a railroad track?
I had to remove the railroad track, and I couldn't remove it because of the fact the railroad owns it. It wasn't mine. And I had to get them to remove the track. It was like 5-6 track. It's like long like this building. I was about 100 feet.
And they were on your property?
They were on my property, yeah.
Did you give them permission to put them there?
No.
Oh, okay. What about excessive growth? It sounds like there was an excessive growth problem too?
That was clean. That was cleared.
Well,
I'm
how
on
much
top
money
of
did
it
you
all
have
the
to?
time. I cleared it up all the time.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be here if you didn't clear them all up. You wouldn't be here if you weren't in compliance. But how much money did you spend to remove the railroad ties?
I didn't. I had to threaten them. I'm going to sue them. I'm going to have an attorney, and I went through like.
You sued them?
No, I didn't. I didn't. They removed it.
Okay.
After I get on like an idiot.
Okay. Does the city have any response?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, the difficulty, I mean, I can take into consideration all the efforts that you took to get into compliance, but a lot of what I've heard is what the city did or didn't do in terms of telling you one thing or another. What proof do you have as to when you complied these violations? Because you're telling me that you came to City Hall and spoke to a code officer and he told you he would take care of it. When was that?
This was the day on the violation. I came here in the morning. I met him in the lobby. But there's no way I can subpoena these cameras or anything. I don't know how to do it. I asked Monique how to do it, and she told me I got to go online, and I tried. I couldn't. I didn't expect it was coming all this way. Otherwise, I would have kept evidence.
Okay. So what do you think the fine should be reduced to?
I don't think it should be reduced at all. I think it should be disappear. Because the fact remains with the inspector, and I mean, I wish if he was here so I can question him.
Well, but you have the burden of proof today to prove to me why the violation should be reduced. So you need to tell me when you achieve compliance. I mean, the city's willing to reduce it significantly, but if your dispute is about one of compliance, if, I need some proof here today.
Dominic? Dominic?
I'm sorry?
Monique, would you be my proof? That I try to resolve the situation, the violation? I know. It's just me and you talk about it, huh? I couldn't, I don't have anything. I mean, I came in and I was talking to you, but you couldn't help me anyway. The burden of proof is my word is my bond.
Well, I know, but what I need from you is the city is saying that your property was out of compliance for 100 days. So if you're telling me that you came into compliance sooner than that, I need to know
I did.
when.
I mean, I got a full subpoena the cameras and stuff that I spoke to him in the lobby. That's the only thing I can do. What else can I do? I don't have, I mean, if you advise me, I'll ask you to adjourn the case and let me get it proved. Other than that, I don't know where to turn, where to go.
Well, but you don't need anybody else to provide the proof. Do you have photographs of when the ties were removed, the railroad equipment? When was that removed? When was the excessive growth cut back? If it was, I mean, they're already willing to reduce your fine significantly. They're taking it down from 100 days of non-compliance to...
If you want, you can adjourn it. The land is not going anywhere. I decide not to sell it. So the bottom line is that I am going to go after the telephone company and get the phone calls that I made, the date, time. I'll make the effort to show that situation that I went through, I guess.
So the fine amount that they're asking me to reduce it to would be about 18 days at the fine amount. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I did that.
I don't need days, ma'am. I just need time. Because the bottom line is that why would I pay for something I worked so hard?
So do you want to withdraw your request for fine reduction, gather the proof, and come back at a later date? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want a later date. I just want, I mean, if you give me a date, a time, yes. Give me a next hearing date.
I can't give you that. You would need to, it would be your request to withdraw from today's hearing, have this matter pulled from the agenda, and you can request fine mitigation from the city again and get placed on whatever available hearing date there is based on when you make your request. So if you don't want me to proceed with reducing the fine today, you can withdraw your request and you can come back later.
Can you give me 1 minute? Let me think. 1 minute.
Yeah, if we could, what I'll do is I'll move to the next case and you can think about it for a few minutes and then let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do.
All right, agenda item number 29, case number CE 21070014, case address 422 21st Street.
So there's a second one for this respondent. They're also here for agenda item 31, 636 35th Street.
Correct, I was going to wait for that next address just because of the confusion before.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
yes,
That's good. Go ahead and wait for the next one. Let's
Thank
do
you.
this one first,
Okay, no
please.
problem.
Thank you.
All right, so for case number CE 210-70014, this case originally was cited July of 2021. They were cited for rotted wood on the structure, overgrowth of the yard and swell, and expiring board certificate for the windows and boards that were on the windows, as well as roof repair needed and permits that were needed to be pulled for those items. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 18th of 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 17th, 2021. That ran for 265 days at $200 a day for a total of $53,000 and was complied on August 9th, 2022. Myself and the agent for the respondent did agree beforehand to reduce the lien to 10% of the fine, which would be $5,300 payable within 30 days.
Your name, sir?
Ryan Grazi on behalf of the owner.
Thank you, sir. You've heard what he said. Is that correct? You're in agreement?
I am in agreement, and that is correct, yes.
Okay, anything else you'd like me to hear on this case?
No, thank you. I think that he stated the timeline correctly.
Okay, very good. So with that, I guess I should play the lotto tonight. Lots of mutual agreement. In case CE 21070014, I will reduce the previous fine amount from $53,000 to $5,300 payable within 30 days.
Agenda item number 31, case number CE 20010-251. Case address is 636 35th Street.
It's Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For this address, they were originally cited January 11th of 2020. They were cited for new windows that were put in, siding, interior remodel without permits. Stop work order was issued. This went to a special magistrate hearing July 15th of 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of August 15th, 2020. This ran for 710 days at $100 a day for a total of $71,000, and this was complied July 26th, 2022. Just like the previous case, we agreed beforehand to reduce this amount to 10% of the lien, which is $7,100, payable within 30 days.
Again, that is correct.
All right, same thing, you're in agreement with that reduction?
Yes.
Okay, anything further you'd like me to hear on this case?
No, thank you. I
Okay.
think we're good.
Thank you. With that, in case CE 20010-251, I will agree to reduce the previous fine amount from $71,000 to $7,100 payable within 30 days.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, agenda item number 34, case number CE 21060133. Case address is 336 South Chillingworth Drive. And I believe we also have agenda item number 28, case number CE 21100119. Case address is 366 South Chillingworth Drive.
What number was that?
34 and 38.
34 and 38. Okay.
Same address, just two different code case numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard her. I went to 28. I gotcha. Thank you.
So for case number CE 21060133, this case actually was cited back in October of 2021 for a prohibited vehicle being in the driveway, trash can in view of the public. This actually went to a special magistrate hearing July 7th of 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of July 23rd, 2021. That ran for 167 days at $100 a day for $16,700 and was complied January 6th of 2022. This is the new owner that's here today. He did do a previous lien reduction in December 7th of 2022, where this was reduced to $2,300 payable within 60 days. He did pay that on February, it was ordered to be paid on February 5th, excuse me. It was paid late on February 27th, 2023. So the city would like to give him credit for what was paid, but ask for an additional $250 for a late fee.
$250?
Yes, ma'am.
So you said he paid the $2,300, he just paid it late?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all you're asking me to do is, I guess since he paid it late, did it revert back to the original amount and you need a reduction again to $2,300 plus $250? So you need a reduction to $2,550?
Correct.
You're trying to make me do math here this morning. That's a lot. All right, let's start with this one. Your name, sir?
Clemenso.
Thank you. You've heard what the city said, so they're saying you got a previous fine reduction, which reduced the fine to $2,300. It was paid late, so they're just asking me to reduce it again to that same amount plus $250 to cover the late fee. Are you in agreement with that?
Reduce it to what?
It'd be $2,550. So it'd be the same as the previous fine reduction plus $250 additional dollars for a late payment.
All right.
You're in agreement with that?
Oh, no, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Okay, so what should the fine be reduced to?
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I paid this fee late. So I had to decide, at the time that the fine was reduced.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had passed away through COVID. So during that 60-day period, I had to decide, which one is more important, her burial or paying this fee.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the reason why I paid it late. I mean, it wasn't based on negligence or because I didn't want to pay it. It's just that I had to take care of the burial first, the funeral first, and then I was able to pay that. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even know I was late until I was ready to sell the house.
Okay.
And that's when I found out that when I paid it, it was late. So the fact that I did pay the what do you call it, the lien,
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be waived.
Okay. All right, let me ask the city, oh, he went away. Go ahead, sir. Take your time. Do you want to read the second one in, since they seem to be related? I guess let me just ask the city, is this same position on the second case, or is there
Correct.
something different?
Yeah, no, same
Okay,
position.
same position. Okay. And the lien is still on the property, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Both of them, I guess. So the difficulty I have, sir, and I'm very sorry for your loss. I don't think that their request is unreasonable. I mean, their reality is that they have to spend additional money to get this back to a hearing. They're doing the process all over again because the payment was not timely. So I don't think the request is unreasonable on their part. I'm certainly willing to reduce it. I understand you had to make a choice. I don't see any reason not to bring the liens down to where they were, but I don't think that it's unreasonable to give them an additional, I don't even think that the amount that they're requesting, to be honest with you, pays their fees. It doesn't pay their city attorney's time, it doesn't pay for the magistrate's time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know that it covers their costs, to be honest with you, but what amount of time do you need to pay this fine now? How much time was he given before, 60 days?
Yes, he was given 60 days before.
Okay, can you pay the reduced amount within 60 days of today?
Okay, so basically it's the same amount, right? I mean, was that 2,000? How much is that total between the two violations?
All right, if we're gonna do it that way, let's get the other, let's go ahead
Yeah,
and read in the other case too,
all right.
so they're both on the table at the same time.
So for case number CE 211-00119, this case went to special magistrate here in June 9th, 2021. They were cited for repeat violation for prohibited vehicle, unsanitary condition, overgrown yard and swell. This went to magistrate hearing November 3rd, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 14th, 2021. This ran for 53 days at $100 a day for a total of $5,300 and was complied January 6th, 2022. Previous lien reduction was same date as before, December 7th, 2022. This fine was reduced to $795, payable within 60 days, which would have been February 5th, 2023. It was paid on February 27th, 2023. Just like the previous case, as a city, we'd like to give him credit for what was paid, plus an additional $250. So that would be $1,045 that it would be reduced to.
So 1,045 plus the 2,550. If I grant what the city is requesting, that'd be a total of $3,595 for both of the cases, including the additional administrative costs.
Right, I got that. Now, I mean, I don't know if this matters. Now, this lien here, both of those liens, these were, first of all, they were not even my liens. These were something that I acquired with the property.
Right.
So I brought everything into compliance, did everything that I could to bring everything up to code. And again, the way I look at it is the fact that I made all the effort to bring everything to code and also paid the previous $3,095. I mean, that should mean something.
No, it will. So you're not gonna have to repay the amount that you already paid. The difference that you're gonna pay is essentially $500. That's the only difference. So you don't, I just want you to understand, and I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna do, but I just want you to understand, you're not having to repay the amount that you already paid. So you don't have to repay the $2,300 that you paid in the other case. You don't have to, did you pay the $795 in this one? You don't have to repay the $795. You're gonna get credit for that.
Okay.
And you're also getting credit, they're already reducing, they've already taken into consideration, and the previous magistrate that reduced the fines already took into consideration that these were not your violations. You didn't cause the violations, you cured them, so, I think these are reasonable. What I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna increase the fine amount. The one that went to $795, that's almost it almost completely wipes away the lien, so that I think there should be no issue with increasing that by the $250 that the city is requesting. The other one, I'll leave back at the $2,300, so in the first case, CE 210600133, I'll grant another fine reduction. I'll reduce the previous fine amount from $16,700 back to the $2,300, giving him credit for the $2,300 that he's paid, so that'll essentially zero out. You won't owe anything additional on that one, okay, sir? And then in case CE 211000119, I'll again reduce the previous fine amount again from $5,300 to $795, but I'm gonna add the $250 to cover the additional city's cost to get you back to this hearing. So I'm gonna reduce that down to what will now be a total of $1,045. You'll get credit for the $795 you paid, so you only owe the city $250, okay?
Okay.
And pay that within, how quickly can you pay that?
Well, let's do the 60 days.
60 days is fine, thank you, sir. And I think she's gonna give you the orders right there, okay, sir? That's it. You're all set, thank you. Sir, are you ready to come back? All right, can we have that gentleman come back?
Back to agenda item number 30, case number CE 21080018, case address 2731 Pinewood Avenue.
All right, sir, what did you decide while you were contemplating?
I'll cancel.
Huh?
I will cancel the case.
All right, so he's requesting
Before
to have this withdrawn. You'll need to make another request at whatever time you want to come back before
Will
the
do as soon
magistrate.
as I subpoena the railroad track.
You can do whatever you'd like.
I have to prove it, so I have to subpoena them. That's the only way to assure you that that was the time.
Okay. With that, I'll let the record reflect that the case is being withdrawn, and the respondent will request another mitigation at his discretion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item 37, case number CE 11040386, case address is 515 North Sapodilla Avenue.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The address in question, 515 North Sapodilla Avenue, for case number CE 11040386, was originally cited on April 19, 2011, for a delinquent rental license and certificate of use. This went to special magistrate hearing May 18, 2011. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of June 21st, 2011. This ran for 478 days at $100 a day for a total of $47,800. This was complied October 11, 2012. This was the previous owner where these fines were incurred. This is the new owner or the owner's representative here today. So the city requests a reduction of 15% of the lien for a total of $7,170.
All right, your name, sir?
Alberto Urechega.
I don't know if you're in a good spot or a bad spot being last on the agenda.
I'm okay.
All right. So you've heard what the city is saying. They're saying you're not the violator, you're the new owner. So you took, I guess, let me ask you, how's your relationship to Florida Investment Exchange?
I was the property manager.
Property
at that
manager,
time.
very good. So what's your response to what the city has said? They're willing to reduce it to $7,170.
Which I think is fair, but the owner's in a very bad position. So he bought the property in 2020 when COVID, and he
Mhm.
went with like a variable mortgage. He's missed his mortgage for the last 4 months. He can't afford it. So even though the 7,000 is very fair, I don't think he's gonna be able to afford this. So I'm requesting $1,000 to cover the cost of you guys being here and doing all this legwork. He paid $27,000 in water fees that were accumulated over 10 years that the property was empty. Can I approach the bench to show you some pictures?
You show it to the city first, and then I'm happy to look at it after that.
So when he purchased the property, he put $250,000 in renovations to get the property was a location where homeless people were breaking in, squatters.
Is this it? What's on the screen? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is that
That's
it?
it, that's
Okay.
it now.
That's it now.
But if you
Okay.
see the photos before, so he put a lot of money into it, thinking that this area was gonna thrive. And he even did a deal with a local church in the area at affordable housing rates to fill the building up. And the priest now he's been under eviction for years, fails to pay. So this guy's in a very bad position, and he asked me to come here as a favor to help him out because he couldn't even afford to pay the bills yesterday to get to the hearing. I had to loan him the money. So this is, I'm trying to keep this house and apartments from going into the state that it was before, which is boarded up and is a squatter location for homeless people, drug activity. So that's what I'm requesting.
Okay. Any objection to these photographs?
No special mention.
Okay, thank you. So it's a rental property, right?
Correct.
Is it currently rented?
Yes.
Okay. How many units are in there?
6 apartments and 1 house. And the agreement that he signed up for that I did for him in 2020 was for $7,500 a month. And if you look at it on a per unit basis, the guy can't even cover his mortgage. He can't even cover anything, and the priest never pays. And so he has like somewhat of a heart, and he's like, okay, well, let me work with the guy. I would have already gotten rid of the guy and brought in new tenants, and now he's in a position that the mortgage lender that he had, the rates have ballooned, and now they're looking to foreclose. So he's looking to do this because he's looking to refinance to pay that lender off because they're gonna take over. And the lender calls me saying, oh, we're taking it over. And the guy calls me crying, asking me to help him. And he tried applying for this lien reduction in 2022, but he didn't have this problem. But since the economy's come to like a collapse, now he needs that money. So he's asking me, begging for me to help him. So I'm asking for you guys to not have another property that goes back into that position. Let's have the guy pay $1,000. He put $250,000 into it. He paid the $27,000 in unpaid water bills for 10 years that the property was empty, from 2000 and I think it was 2011 to 2020 when he purchased it.
Okay. Let me ask the city, how many other code cases on this property?
Under their ownership, none.
Under their ownership, none. Okay. Does the city have a response to what they've heard?
We are sympathetic to that. We wouldn't agree to reduce it to 1,000.
Yeah, so the difficulty I have is, if it does get foreclosed on, I'm certain that the city has a recorded lien. So if it goes through the foreclosure process, the city potentially could recover all of its fines, right? So it's what you're asking me to do, and I'm sympathetic to the situation that the gentleman has, but because he has a tenant in there or somebody who's running it that's not paying, you're asking that to become the city's problem. And that's where I have a little bit of trouble, because that's a business decision that he's making.
I understand.
But at the same time, the gravity of the violation, this was not a health, safety, welfare violation. You apparently don't have any other cases, so I'll take that, obviously I take that in consideration.
Can we do 2,500 to cover your cost, and understanding that he brought back to the community.
Yeah, and I obviously do give him credit for, I certainly will give him credit for the work that he did to restore the property, because it certainly looks, much better now.
Special magistrate?
Yes, ma'am.
Made the city respond to his 2,500?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
The city would like to counter with 5,000, ma'am, Your Honor.
I'll accept,
You'll accept?
yes.
All right. I think that's a fair number. I mean, I think the
I think-
7,100, I appreciate your starting out with the fact that you thought that the city's original number was fair. I think 5,000 is certainly a reasonable number. It's certainly a fair number. I think it takes into consideration everything you've done. I also think it's consistent with the reductions, the other reductions on the docket today. So with that, anything further, sir?
No, thank you. I
How long do you
appreciate
need to pay that? 60 days enough?
it. 30 days.
Okay. Let me give you 60 just to make sure that
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
you have it done. All right, with that, in case CE 11040386, I will reduce the previous fine amount from $47,800 down to $5,000 payable within 60 days. And
Thank
sir,
you.
before you leave, come get your photos. Thank you, sir. Anything further for the magistrate?
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
No special magistrate.
Nothing further? All right, with that, I'll adjourn this hearing at 12:51.
Thank you.